and other insurers not available in all states.
It's not easy being a cop, even the four-legged kind.
As a puppy, there were high hopes for Ike to help revive the Santa Fe, New Mexico Police Department's canine program. Now, 4 years later, the German Shepherd is, you might say, in the doghouse. He has bitten more people than any other dog in the unit and is the subject of an internal affairs investigation, that into an attack recently on one of the department's officers. City is also defending against a lawsuit filed by another officer who was attacked by the dog 2 years ago. Jason Walker reporting.
Doctors Without Borders says the notorious Rapid Support Forces paramilitary group fighting Sudan's military for over a year fired shots and looted a health facility in the western region of Darfur, forcing its closure. News and analysis at townhall.com. The Baltimore Shipping Channel is set to reopen today.
A 50-foot deep, 700-foot wide shipping lane was expected to reopen over the weekend, but a commander with the U.S. Coast Guard told the Baltimore Sun that the channel still needs to undergo more dredging before ships can pass through safely. When the Francis Scott Key Bridge collapsed after being hit by a container ship in March, it sent about 50,000 tons of debris into the water.
That's correspondent Tasha Stevens reporting. After Federal Reserve officials meet this week, a statement they'll issue may suggest that they've seen meaningful progress on inflation this year, a prelude to eventual interest rate cuts. Yet it's hard to say because the officials themselves may not know for sure until they begin their meeting. That's because the government's latest snapshot of U.S. inflation will be released Wednesday morning, just before the Fed begins the second day of its policy discussions. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to a morning without Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. That's right, I ain't he. That wouldn't be me, Mike Winters. No, Mixmaster Mike is officially, I believe he's officially set sail. Bon voyage, and they are off for 7 days of deep blue seas and just all the lobster bisque you can eat. I think that's basically the go-to thing on cruises. Just hit up the bisque station. Mike was telling me about all the soft serves that they have access to, which is all the unlimited soft serve you could possibly want. Am I off? All right. Had to let the cameraman come in and do his thing. But yes, Mixmaster Mike and his lovely wife Kim have set sail for, I believe they're heading to Puerto Vallarta. Oh,
Church. You were kind of tall.
Huh? I wasn't at Mike height. That's the problem. But yeah, as far as I know, I haven't heard anything to the otherwise. Everybody got on board. I believe they boarded the ship either last night or they board today. It's one of those. And then they go about doing their business and having a blast.
He's on a cruise?
Yeah. Yeah, he's on a, I think this one's called the Icon of the Sea. It's a Royal Caribbean cruise. The one big sell that I heard about this, because it's got, your traditional, the water slides.
I was going to ask, what's the gimmick?
This one's got an ice skating rink.
Oh.
Yeah, like full blown, from what I understood, it's not that like, Because, we have the ice rink that comes out every now and again, but it's not really ice. This, from what I understand, is a full-blown, ice rink.
Yeah.
So I begged Kim to get Mike. Mike's definitely going to get on the ice, but I said if we can smuggle on board a hockey stick to give Mike that 3-point stance that he's used to when he's playing, I think we can actually get him, get his not sea legs. Well, I guess in that case it would be sea legs. It'd just be sea ice legs.
Yeah. Is that inside the boat?
Yeah. Apparently it's no, it's outside.
Because I was gonna say that'd be
floating
really
behind it.
Well, that'd be really hard to keep it frozen. If it's
that's what
if
I
it's
thought.
On the outside of the boat
in tropical weather and stuff. I imagine it's inside of an enclosure.
Yeah.
Because they have to keep the room at a certain temperature. If you've ever been to an ice rink, you know that it's cold in there because it's ice. It makes a lot of sense. So I imagine it's in a temperature controlled enclosure, probably inside of maybe the middle of the boat.
Yeah. So does it come with hockey equipment and stuff for him to play with?
I didn't do any research. Honestly, I assume that if they're going to have a rink like that, they probably have equipment you could rent. Because nobody's going to be ooh, let me grab my ice skates.
Yeah.
That's bulky stuff to bring on a cruise. So I imagine they supply you with skates and stuff like that. Although anybody who's ever, spent time on the ice knows rental skates, ice skates are not fun.
No.
They're usually chipped and it's hard to kind of get a good groove. Plus with ice skates, it's sort of like one of those, you have to kind of break them into your foot and kind of find your, find your fit and your feel. Rental skates, it's hard to do that because it's a one size fits all type of skate. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that was his big exciting thing was he was going to get ice skate on board.
Yeah, I know Mike's a hockey man.
Mm-hmm.
A man of hockey.
A man o' hockey, if you will.
I'm sure he would have liked to. I'm sure that's why he wanted the skating rink because maybe there was hockey stuff on there.
Well, this is from what I understand, the third largest ship, I think, on the ocean. As far as cruise lines go. I mean, obviously there's probably some military stuff that's bigger, but cruise lines, I think this is the third largest cruise line on the sea. The biggest one they just put out earlier this year, and it's the length of 2.5 football fields. I believe is what they said. That's a lot of boat.
That's pretty big.
It's
200 yards.
That's one heck of a dinghy. But he'll be off on the 7 seas. Actually, I think there's 8 seas now. Through this week, through the weekend, and I believe they head back Monday. He should be back inside of your radios 1 week from tomorrow, hopefully rested and with a nice tan.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Although he did take his sun hat with him, so I'm pretty sure he's going to be well protected.
Now I just kind of want to see him wearing a goalie outfit.
Oh, there's pictures. I'll have Kim send some pictures because I guarantee there's a few out there.
Yeah.
I have done my absolute best to be positive, to be optimistic, and to say, hey, have a great trip. It's going to be fantastic. All the good food. You're going to have fun. You're not going to miss any ports of call. I have been I don't know if it's the YouTube algorithm punishing me or warning me for him, but all week long I've been treated to the poop cruise of 2013 or the one where the boat was the Costa Concordia, where the guy tried to buzz the shoreline and ended up listing the boat completely sideways.
Yeah.
I've just seen all these horrific cruise stories, and I'm just why would you want to do that? And I'm really trying not to jinx him or make it a bad trip. But it's just that's a lot to take in.
Just make sure an Italian billionaire doesn't own the boat that you're cruising on.
Yeah. Yeah, just make sure he's not he doesn't have a want to show off to his friends and coworkers. But all going according to plan. Mike should be back happy and chock full of stories this coming next Tuesday, 1 week from tomorrow. Meantime, you got me. You got the dregs. You got the second banana, Sean Smalls, inside your captain's chair for the rest of this week.
I never understood that term.
What's that?
Second banana.
Second banana.
Is there a first banana?
Well, he's the head cheese, and then you got your second banana, and then your third wheel. So I'm not really sure what we're building here.
You're just using these terms that have been invented by old people.
It's bananas, cheese, and wheels. That's what it's all about. The good news is we do have a very full week. People were calling in left and right last week to book time for this week. So we do have a very full slate for you. In fact, let me give you the rundown for this morning's program. Start off here in just a few minutes, around 7:15 or so. Matt Bristol waiting patiently from Bristol Law Offices just 2 floors our north, and he'll be on the air chit-chatting with us about all kinds of legal knowledge, getting you informed and educated. So we'll be doing that coming up here in just a few minutes. Coming up in the 8 o'clock hour, around 8:15 or so, we'll be chatting with Miss Elaine Mayfield all about Galacticon. I know it's June, but trust me, Galacticon UFO Festival, it's right around the corner. It always sneaks up on us when we least expect it. Now's the time to get prepared. If you're going to do the cosplay thing, get your costumes ordered, get all the accoutrement that you're going to need, because it's coming up fast. Elaine Mayfield in the 8 o'clock hour. In the 9 o'clock hour, we're going to replay the interview that Mike had last week with Miss Lauren Dickinson from the Roswell Refuge. They've got a Father's Day raffle. They're giving away, I believe it is I can't remember the size she said exactly, but I want to say it's like a 27 or 30-inch flat-top Blackstone grill. They're going to be giving that away this Friday. Raffle tickets are available through the Roswell Refuge. They're actually going to be doing the drawing right here live on this program. So you'll get to tune in and hear who the winner is. And if you want to get your chance to win that raffle, then you best get signed up quick. Again, you can get your tickets at through the Roswell Refuge. But we'll play that interview coming up here in just a few minutes in the 9 o'clock hour. Plus, your regular features, Kim Commando update, Sean Hannity update, and all the other stuff that comes our way on this Monday. Right now, at 14 minutes after 7 o'clock, let us pause and take a look at the weather. I'll tell you this, enjoy today, because it's going crazy by the end of this week. Here you go.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Some showers and thunderstorms possible today. We have a nearly stationary front and a lot of moist air available. Some of those storms could have damaging wind and large hail today. We'll be in the mid-80s on the afternoon high. Maybe a few lingering showers overnight, and we're down to the mid-60s, and then things dry out on Tuesday. Sunny and hot, upper 90s to about 100. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Let me get this refreshed over here. Currently 64 degrees around Roswell Way. Humidity is at 84%. Winds out of the northwest at about 7 miles an hour. The barometer at 30.11 inches with a dew point of 59 degrees. Like Steve said there, it's going to be a little nicer than the usual today, at least just from a cool perspective, although we do have some storms in the forecast, so batten down them hatches. Scattered showers and thunderstorms afternoon. Some of those storms could be severe. Partly sunny skies, a high of around 85 degrees. Winds out of the northeast at around 5 miles an hour. Chance of rain is at about 50% later in the day. New rainfall amounts of 1/10 to 1/2 of an inch are possible. Higher amounts possible in the case of thunderstorms. For tonight, same thing. Scattered showers before 9 p.m., then isolated rain between 9 and midnight. Some of those storms could be severe. Partly cloudy skies and a low of around 66 degrees. Winds out of the north at around 5 miles an hour, becoming south after midnight. Your chance of rain sits at around 30%. For your Tuesday, back to normal. Sunny skies, 95 for the high, winds 5 to 10. Tuesday night, 70, mostly clear. Wednesday, 98 for the high, winds, again, calm, 5 to 10, mostly clear, and 71 for your Wednesday night. 105 degrees for the high on Thursday. So between now and Thursday, about 30 degrees difference. Enjoy that. Mostly clear and 74 for your Thursday night. Then another 20% chance of showers, thunderstorms, still only dipping us down to about 103, 102 for your Saturday, and 104 degrees for your sunny Sunday. 16 minutes after 8 o'clock. Going to take a quick break here. And after the break, we'll chit-chat with Matt Bristol from Bristol Law Office on a morning without Mike Winters. Stay tuned. Cash for Junkers is back at Roswell Honda, and that means if you can push it, pull it, or drag it to Roswell Honda, it's worth up to $3,000 towards your next vehicle. And with a lot chock full of beautiful new and pre-owned vehicles to choose from, your old busted could be the key to your new hotness. And push, pull, and drag your family to Roswell Honda Saturday, June 22nd from 10 to 1 for free hot dogs and drinks, stuff for the kids, and your chance to win a $400 Visa gift card. Cash for Junkers on now at Roswell Honda, 2177 West 2nd.
Hey, this is Jennifer from Trustmark Roofing. Every storm chaser's worst nightmare. You know storm chasers, those out-of-town roofers that descend on neighborhoods after big storms. They come in, do a crummy job, then poof, they're gone forever. Well, a few years ago, our area had a hailstorm, and right on cue, storm chasers showed up. I was driving home from work one evening and saw one talking to an elderly lady on her porch. I said, not today, buddy. I did a U-turn, pulled in the driveway, and walked right up to them. I warned the woman who they were talking to, and I chased away the storm chaser. The woman's daughter called me later and said a storm chaser ripped them off a few years ago. She thanked me for stopping this one and chose Trustmark for her roof. Trustmark Roofing. Every storm chaser's nightmare. Every homeowner's champion. Call today for your 20% off coupon for our spring and roof gutter maintenance service. 575-755-ROOF or visit TrustmarkRoofPros.com.
Trustmark Roofing, we put people first.
Good morning, this is Smiley Wooten at the Roswell Livestock Auction. A nice summer run this week. We expect to sell 1,300 head. Break it down like this: 225, 250 weighing cows and bulls, 100 to 125 pairs of bred cows, 850, 900 calves and yearlings. Today's sale will include 50 to 60 cow-calf pairs, mostly black and Charolais cross with Angus and Charolais calves inside. Pairs 5 to 10 years old, 60 to 70 bred cows, mostly black, white face, Charolais crossbred, bred to Angus and Charolais bulls. 5 to 10 years old, 95 calves, Henderson Ranch, Flying H, New Mexico. Excellent quality black Brangus crossbred calves, cattle weaned, 1 round of shots, thin condition, 375, 575 pounds, 54 calves. Snow Landing Cattle Company, Dale City, Texas. Good quality black, white face Brangus cross calves, cattle weaned, thin condition, 350, 550 pounds, 52 calves. Wes and Carla Bruton, San Antonio, New Mexico. Excellent quality Charolais crossbred calves, cattle weaned 120 plus days, thin to medium condition, 375, 500 pounds. 38 calves, Mr. Michael Rubio, Hillsboro, New Mexico. Excellent quality black Angus crosses, medium condition, 400, 600 pounds. 39 calves, light yearlings, Runyon Martin Ranch, Hope, New Mexico. Good quality black, white face, red, white face English crossbreds, thin to medium condition, 400, 600 pounds. 27 calves and light yearlings at U-Bar Ranch, Silver City, New Mexico. Excellent quality black Angus crosses, cattle weaned, shots, 450, 650 pounds. Several sets of light calves, 200, 350 pounds. Sale time this morning, 9 o'clock. Sell pairs, bred cows, 10:30. Be selling calves and yearlings about 11 to 11:30. We expect to sell 1,300 head here today. This is Smiley Wooten, Roswell Livestock Auction.
The average American spends 2.5 days a year looking for lost items. We aren't sure how long Europeans and Asians look for lost stuff. We lost the list. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning, 20 minutes after 7 o'clock. And joining us in studio this morning from Bristol Law Office, just 2 floors upstairs from us, Mr. Matt Bristol. How are you doing this morning?
Doing good, Sean. How are you doing this morning?
Doing good. Glad to be back to semi-normalcy after a crazy weekend. We'll talk about that coming up here in a little bit. But it's nice to be home again, you know?
Yeah, you did have a crazy weekend. Sorry about that.
I always look at it like this. I heard somebody tell me one time, 100 bad days make 100 good stories, and 100 good stories make me interesting at parties. So it's all about taking the bad and turning it into a little good. You know, you gotta spin it a certain way.
Well, that's right. You take make the lemonade.
Yeah, that's right.
Exactly.
Absolutely. And I'm a fan of the puckery stuff, so I'm good with it. So every month, Matt Bristol joins us to bring us sage legal advice and information. And we were just chit-chatting off the air a little bit ago about asset protection, and
Yes.
And just what assets can be protected, what they can come after. So with that in mind, let's dive into it.
So in the statute, they're called exemptions. These are things that are exempt from creditor collection efforts.
Okay.
So if you think about the Wild West, and the cowboy goes into town, goes in the saloon. He starts drinking, then he starts playing poker, and pretty soon he's lost the family homestead in the poker game, and the wife and the kid are on the streets with nothing but the clothes on their back.
They're in that dead man's hand.
So our legislature decided that's a bad thing. And so our legislature has passed laws that we want our citizens to keep a certain minimum standard of living. And so there's certain things that no creditor can take from you.
Gotcha.
So this is a state law that you can use, just every day. But if you do file bankruptcy, at least in New Mexico, you have the option of using the state law exemptions or the federal bankruptcy exemptions.
Okay.
So you can use these state exemptions in or out of a bankruptcy context. And last summer, our legislature boosted the dollar amounts because they were just way, way old. So they did a good thing.
Cost of living adjustment, so to speak.
Yeah. So homestead is a huge question in everybody's mind. Is somebody going to take my home from me? And so they boosted that exemption up to $150,000 worth of equity per home owner.
Oh, okay.
So if you have a husband-wife, that's $300,000 worth of equity. Equity being positive net worth.
Sure.
Fair market value minus debt. So that's a huge, huge protection.
Absolutely, yeah. That means they can't just swoop in and take away, your kids' beds, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, you also get to protect so many dollars worth of household goods and furnishings. And so people ask, if I can protect, $75,000 worth of household goods and furnishings. And the valuation method they use is market value. Well, everything you and I own is used. So all the furniture is valued as used furniture or used clothing.
Okay.
Or used appliances.
Sure.
So at that point, nobody's got $75,000 worth of stuff.
I don't think I have $75 worth of stuff in my house besides my TV. That's pretty much the most valuable thing I have. And my kids, but that's neither there.
And this is per person. So if it's a husband-wife household or something like that, each person gets that.
Now, what if you've got an adult child living with you? Like, let's say, for example, a child who's 19, still living at home with mom and dad. Under bankruptcy protection, would they be able to be considered part of the home ownership? Or would they add additional protection?
Well, since they're not part of the bankruptcy process, anything they own is not part of the bankruptcy estate.
Gotcha.
So the little 19-year-old could have $50,000 in the bank, but since he's not in the bankruptcy himself, that asset, that $50,000 is not part of the bankruptcy estate.
They're not coming after that anyways.
Correct.
That's good news. That is good news. Okay, so I mean, obviously, and this is something when you come to the place where you're, thinking this is my only option. Bankruptcy is all I have left. You get scared. You start, the fear sets in you. They're going to come after me. They're going to come after my home. But these protections have been put in place to let you know that they can't take away your lifestyle. They also can't take away the way that you make that lifestyle happen. Transportation, things of that nature.
Right. So you can protect up to $10,000 worth of net worth of a motor vehicle. So that way you can keep your car and drive to and from work.
Okay.
And you're right. And when people get sued or they're considering bankruptcy, they're always worried, gee, are they going to come take my stuff? And so I haven't had anybody lose anything in a bankruptcy in a long, long time. The last time was after they had filed bankruptcy, but before discharge, a relative had passed away and left them an inheritance.
Okay.
And it's like, oops, that's too many dollars. And it's a good thing you told me. Otherwise, you're going to go to the jail for not telling.
But they were able to keep a portion of those assets. They just couldn't keep all of them.
Well, in their particular case, so they inherited $100,000. Well, the bankruptcy debt that they filed bankruptcy on was $28,000.
Okay.
So the bankruptcy court says, okay, well, give us $28,000 and we'll go through our little process. And if we don't use it all up, we'll give it back to you. So the court took just enough to pay the debts that were out there. And then they actually require the creditors to apply to be paid.
Oh.
And so only a third of them actually applied to be paid.
Sure.
So my folks got a good refund.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome. It's so funny too. I was thinking about when you mentioned it. It's such a tired TV and movie trope. I mean, you see it in all the, the guy makes it rich and then all of a sudden he gets all his money taken away in some kind of scam. And then you see just some guys show up at his house and two guys are lifting up his couch and carrying it out. And he's standing there going, oh, no, I love that. That was a Stu Benz or saying names. So that's not going to happen.
No,
they're not they're not going to take all your furniture away and then bring in a barrel with 2 straps for you to wear. It's not going to be like that.
Not going to be like that at all. No.
That's good. That's good to know.
Oh yeah. You get to, keep your Social Security benefits, and that's also federal law that's protected. Also protected under state law is veterans benefits.
Ah, very good.
disability, unemployment benefits are protected from creditors. So they can't garnish that money from a bank account. $5,000 worth of jewelry at used jewelry prices.
Okay.
Cool thing in New Mexico is retirement accounts are 100% protected.
Awesome.
There's no dollar limit
at all. So as long as you've been saving, they can't mess with that.
So your 401k could have $500,000, and somebody sues you because your dog bit them. They can't touch the 401.
That's awesome. That's
it
really
is.
Good to hear. It's funny you mention that too because it's Dog Awareness Week. It's National Letter Carriers Dog Awareness Week. They put out a thing over the weekend talking about how to protect letter carriers from your dog.
Oh wow!
And all the insurance and fees and stuff that come with. If your dog bites a mailman, this is what's going to happen.
But, gee whiz.
But yeah, so it's good to know that there are places that your assets are protected. Now, is there a way to move assets into protected areas before a bankruptcy is filed?
Yes, like moving money into home equity, or into retirement accounts. Can you do that? Yeah. The question is going to be, how soon before the bankruptcy were you moving the money?
And they're going to check on that.
They're going to check on that. So if the week before you filed bankruptcy, you took $50,000 from the bank and paid it down on the house, that's going to look suspicious.
It certainly will.
If you do it 2 years in advance, that's good planning.
Got it.
Now, where's the line between the two? Nobody's really sure.
Hard to say. Well, if it's an obvious move, then yeah, it looks like you were trying to swindle the system. So
yeah.
So do it incrementally, kids. That's what we're saying. If you're going to move assets, do it incrementally.
Yeah. They have a 2 to 4 year look back period.
Okay.
For funding money transfers.
Gotcha.
And so that's one of the standard questions in a bankruptcy is in the last 2 years, is there anything you used to have you don't have anymore? Did you transfer any property or a property interest? So if you gave something as collateral in order to defeat, now there's no equity in that asset. So if you gave something as collateral, that's a transfer of a property interest. So I had a little lady client come in years ago, and she was diagnosed with cancer, and so she'd put her son on the house.
Okay.
Joint tenants, right of survivorship in case she passed. And was anticipating all these, medical bills and what about bankruptcy, and said, well, you just transferred a property interest to your son. I mean, you have to wait 2 years,
right?
But then I got to thinking of that. There's also a 4 year look back period. So I asked her, I said, presently, right now, do you have any debt at all? And she goes, no. And I said, great, run me a credit report that says that. Okay. So she ran me a credit report. Because to undo these fraudulent transfers, were you insolvent? Was the transfer to an insider? And for little or no value. So she ran the credit report, no debt. We're cool. She got the cancer treatment, came out okay.
Awesome.
She lived. Oh, yes. Very thankful. But she did have a lot of medical bills.
That's the hard part about living to see the other side of it.
Yeah. So we went ahead and filed bankruptcy. And the trustee said, so we're like 2 years and 6 months from putting the son's name on the house. And we're talking to the trustee, and he asked, in the last 4 years, have you transferred any property? It's like, oh my God, why'd you have to ask that question? So it's, well, yeah, I mean, you got to tell the truth. And so he starts salivating because he's going to undo this fraudulent transfer, right? Well, the transfer has to be to an insider for little or no consideration at the time you're insolvent. Insolvent means debts exceed your assets.
But you ran the credit report that showed that she was debt-free.
Right, exactly. She was not insolvent. So he defeated that prong of the test, and he left her alone.
To have that kind of forethought, to think that could come up, that's the Matt Bristol approach right there. That's why you go with Matt Bristol, because he catches things that the others don't. While stuff slips through the cracks, Matt's there to catch it and apply it.
Well, we were able to save her house, and so we were very, very thankful for that.
That is awesome. So just it's a bit of peace of mind to know that if you are to that point where you don't have any options, bankruptcy is the only thing you can do. It's a comfort to know that they can't come in and completely leave you destitute.
Right. So sometimes some of my clients have more money than just what's in the retirement account.
Sure.
And they ask, well, what about a trust? Is a trust an asset protection vehicle?
Right.
And not like it used to be is the answer. So
okay.
So if Sean creates a trust and Sean's the trustee of the trust, so a trust has to have a human who controls the assets. And it's Sean's money, so Sean wants to be in control of Sean's money. But if you're the trustee of your own trust, you can actually access that money anytime you want.
Right.
Therefore, it's not an asset protection vehicle.
Just an added account, essentially, an additional bank account.
Right.
So, but if you leave your money in trust to, say, for example, let's say I win the lottery, and I want to take $100 million of my winnings and leave it in a trust for my kids, $50 million each. If at that point something happens, I end up having to declare bankruptcy, the money that I have left to my kids in their trust is not protected or is protected.
Well, it's your bankruptcy. It's not the children's bankruptcy.
Okay.
So it's their trust. It's not your trust.
So if I leave it in trust to them, it then becomes their trust.
Right.
Gotcha.
So for a trust to be an asset protection vehicle for Sean, you would actually have to appoint a bank, say, an institutional trustee, to be trustee. You have to give up complete control of your money in order for that trust to be an asset protection vehicle.
Okay.
And most people don't want to
Don't want to do that, yeah.
They don't want to give up that control.
Right.
But when Sean passes and now the bank is the trustee for the kids, now that's an asset protection vehicle for the kids because the bank's the trustee, not them.
Okay.
Again, they don't have no control over accessing that money. So trusts also have other kind of tax considerations that make them unattractive.
Sure.
Some people ask, well, what about LLCs or a corporation? If I put my assets in an LLC or corporation, will that protect them from creditors? And the answer is, well, not really.
Okay.
So let's say Sean has a brokerage account and Sean gets sued. So if they get a judgment, they're going to try to collect and they're going to ask, oh, do you own any stock anywhere? Oh, yeah, I've got some Coca-Cola in my brokerage account. Go, well, let's look at this state law listing of exemptions. Oh, look, there's no Coca-Cola stock exempted.
So they're going to take my Coke?
They would take your stock, your ownership in the Coca-Cola.
Gotcha.
And if you had a business where you were a 100% owner of an LLC, they're going to take your LLC.
Gotcha.
Just like they could access the Coke stock. So, and the LLCs can protect you from the business assets or protect you from the business liabilities. So it's an asset protection in that direction.
From that side.
From that side, but not...
If somebody comes at you from the other side to look at your assets, that is then considered one of your assets they can come after.
Exactly, yeah.
That's... Yeah, so something to keep in mind. So there are places to put money, places not to, and it's kind of a shell game. It sounds like there's constantly bureaucracy moving around and adjusting things. So it's kind of a cat and mouse game.
It is. A limited partnership is the only real asset protection vehicle that I found. So if a creditor was going after Sean, and they'd say, well, do you own any stock or corporations, LLCs, partnerships? Well, you have a limited partnership. Well, if you have an LLC, they can actually take it from you. Or you own Coke stock in a brokerage account, they can take that from you.
Gotcha.
In a limited partnership, they can't take your ownership interest.
So if I say owned part of a company with another person, they couldn't then seize the company. Could they seize my stock in that company?
Your interest only.
Gotcha. So I would still lose my interest in the company, but the company itself would still stand.
Yeah, with a new owner.
Sure.
With a limited partnership, they cannot actually take your ownership interest from you. The only thing they can attach is any income stream that comes out of the limited partnership.
Gotcha.
So you still remain the owner of those investments. The only thing they can attach is any income stream that comes out. So it's kind of nice because the partnership papers usually say, and there may never, ever, ever be a distribution just for that event. So they may attach the income stream, but if nothing comes out, they get nothing.
Yeah. Oh, so just be unsuccessful is basically what you're saying. Make no money in your business. That's the ultimate rule here that we're getting to. So it does sound like there's places that you can put your assets, places that you can't, And it's a real challenge. So you need somebody who knows what they're doing. If you're going to go into a situation like filing for bankruptcy, you want somebody on your side that knows what they're doing. And Matt definitely, he's done his homework. He's definitely done his ins and outs and knows where, what to do if you're going to be filing for bankruptcy. But I think the ultimate, lesson to be learned here is it's not something to be afraid of. Bankruptcy. It's if it's the last thing you have, last option that you have, it's not an option that's going to completely wipe you out.
No, not at all. And I've seen a number of clients that have come in and they've tried debt consolidation. I've seen, you see those ads on TV for debt consolidation or Debt America or whatever the heck they call it.
Right.
And I've just never seen those things work out. And we've had several clients that come in and for whatever reason, those things just never seem to work. And so we talk and I said, okay. And so one of the things you have to do in a bankruptcy is a budget. And so I show them how the budget works. And that's a take-home assignment because I'm not going to pressure Sean while he's sitting there to make a decision.
Right.
But we do go through, these are all the assets that you can protect in a bankruptcy. There's 36 categories. And so I go over them with the client the first meeting. And so the first meeting we determine, everything you got, you get to keep. So at least they leave with that kind of peace of mind.
Sure, and that's the best you can hope for, because if you're of the mindset of, well, this is my last option, I'm going to lose everything, and so are the people that I love. But now you have that peace of mind to know that it's not all all over at that point.
Correct. And so I did have a gentleman come in and ask, and we were talking, and so they want to know about real estate. And go, oh yeah, I got a house, and any other real estate you or your wife own. Oh yeah, she's got this honking big tract of land out there. And it's like, okay, well, do you live there? Nope. Well, then it's not a homestead. You don't get a homestead protection.
Oh.
And it was like 6-figure tract of land. And so we're thinking, well, let's go over everything else. So everything they owned together fell within the exemptions, dollar limits. And so I said, well, what about just you file the bankruptcy, just the husband? So the exemption list is for each per person.
Right.
Well, just the husband filed, his list of exemptions protected everything they own.
So it still fell within his range.
Everything fell within his range. He protected all the community assets.
So you could individually file for bankruptcy and your wife not have to file along with you.
Correct.
Huh.
And because that land was her sole and separate property, he didn't list it in his bankruptcy because he has no interest in it.
Right.
It's not his.
Right. That's brilliant. That's a brilliant. And see, my thought was, well, crap, now I'm gonna have to get a divorce and just have her hide a bungalow somewhere and protect my assets under a mattress. But so you can actually stay married, maybe happily, and still file for bankruptcy as an individual.
Yes.
That's amazing. I had no idea.
Where that one person's list of exemptions protects all the community assets.
Right, as long as it falls underneath that umbrella.
And of course, your spouse's paycheck is a community asset. So can they sue the non-filing spouse? Yeah. Can they collect against any community asset? No. And that includes a paycheck because that's a community asset. So why would they bother if they can never ever collect? So it's kind of a squirrely little thing, but it works.
It is. It's. There's definitely a lot of twists and turns you have to take to navigate the system, but it sounds like you've done the groundwork.
Yeah.
It sounds like if you want to have the best footing, if you're thinking about filing for bankruptcy, come talk to Matt because Matt's where it's at when it comes to bankruptcy filing. He's done his homework. He knows the rules and regulations, the ins and the outs.
Well, we try to do a good job.
Yeah, absolutely.
We try to. So one of the dangers of asset protection that we see now that I'm getting older is nursing home costs. Because in New Mexico, you can protect a home as long as there's an intent for the person to return home. So that's one of those nudge, nudge, wink, winks.
Right.
Is there an intent for this person to return home? Oh, yes.
Of course.
I always put yes.
Yeah. They're just on vacation at Sunny Acres.
Yeah. It doesn't matter if the doctor gives them 2 months to live. Oh, yes, there's an intent to return home. but their spendable assets have to go down to like $2,000. So, and that includes retirement accounts.
Oh.
And then only then does Medicaid take over or help with the cost.
Sure.
So you private pay until all your money's gone, and then Medicaid will take over when you've only got $2,000 in the bank.
When you're destitute, right?
When you're broke, which is, who wants that to happen? And if you got a surviving spouse, what are they going to live on?
Right.
So, but the Medicaid rules contemplate that there can be the husband and wife can enter into a post-nuptial contract where they separate their assets.
Okay.
So Sean's assets are his sole and separate. His spouse's assets are her sole and separate. Any debt that Sean makes is his sole and separate debt. Any debt the spouse makes is her sole and separate debt, including especially nursing homes. And that way, at least if wife goes into the nursing home and her assets all get shot to hell,
right?
Sean's are protected.
Who knew it worked like that? But that is that's good to know.
It is contemplated in the Medicaid regs, so that's a good thing.
Absolutely, they've thought it through. Make sure that you're not going to be left high and dry. Well, that is definitely good to know.
Yeah, in some states though, they force you to sell the home.
Really?
It's a state by state thing.
If you're in New Mexico and you're thinking about this, you're maybe moving to Texas or something. That's a whole different legal landscape.
Oh yeah.
I'd imagine a much more complicated one to navigate too.
Yeah, and I don't know. And again, this is Medicaid planning, so you'd have to talk to a Medicaid specialist.
Sure.
But I think it was somebody in Missouri or someplace said that they were forced to sell mom's home when mom went into the nursing home to help cover the costs before Medicaid would kick in.
Right.
So, yeah, isn't that terrible? Oh my God.
Yeah, that's not fun at all. So we've gone through a lot of angles, a lot of twists and turns. If somebody wants to have a sit down with you, chit chat, maybe they're thinking of considering bankruptcy for themselves. What should they do? What are the first steps?
So for bankruptcy, we have no fee consultations. It lasts an hour. It's completely free. You're not required to hire us to get the free consultation. We're at 575-625-5284, bristoloffice.net.
.net.
And if you had questions about a post-nuptial separation agreement for assets, for asset protection, or some other asset protection, we do have a consultation fee for that kind of stuff.
Sure.
And so we're not doing any more my cases. We used to do a lot of contract and family law stuff, so we're getting out of the litigation stuff. I have my paralegal's going to go to Albuquerque and spend time with her grandson, so that's a cool thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we support her in that. But you can give us a call, 625-5284. Set up an appointment, come on down and talk for free on bankruptcy stuff.
Absolutely. I've actually had this sit down with Matt when myself and my wife at the time were considering filing. And after going through everything, after kind of sitting down and looking at the budget and looking at what would be protected assets, it definitely put my mind at ease. Because
thank you.
Well, absolutely. The first thing you think when you go into this is, they're going to take everything. We're going to be left on the streets. And I've got, I got kids. I have maybe an elderly relative that I'm caring for, and all these things are going to get taken away. But there are protections that have been set in place, and that's
absolutely
comforting to know.
Absolutely. And then every once in a while we run across somebody, and they have a budget issue, not so much a bankruptcy issue. So it's not the amount of debt, it's just how they're handling or not handling the debt. And so we do a budget, get a hold on that, and I tell them, you have a non-bankruptcy alternative. And let me show you what it is. So every once in a while we do get somebody like that.
And it doesn't always have to be that bankruptcy. There's you can, once you worked up a budget, you can maybe figure out, I can do this without having to, go to those drastic measures of filing for bankruptcy. There's other options. There's, counseling and programs that are available.
There is, for older people. Okay. So let's say we got, how much time we have?
Okay. We got plenty. We're good.
Okay. So let's say there's an older retired couple and they got these credit cards that are hounding them. And it's like, okay, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, what are your sources of income? Well, we get Social Security, okay, and retired school teacher gets educational retirement, okay, and anything else? Oh, well, that's it. They go, okay, well, under federal law, nobody can garnish your Social Security. Not from the source, not after it hits the bank. It's no creditor can ever take it from you.
Protected money.
Protected money. And remember, under the state law exemptions, your retirement is protected, right? You could have an unlimited amount of money in your 401 and nobody can take it from you, right? Sure. Well, when they get that retirement check, that's retirement money. That school retirement check is retirement money. It's protected asset.
Gotcha.
So if nobody can ever garnish your money, why would you file bankruptcy?
It's protected anyway. So yeah, there's no reason to.
So financially, there's no reason to file. Now, there might be a peace of mind reason to file bankruptcy just so people quit hassling you. Right. But financially, there's no reason. We had a little old lady came in and credit cards were hassling her. And she comes in with an adult daughter who's like my age. And thinking about moving mom in with adult daughter anyway, but all these creditors are hassling mom. And like, okay, so mom's sole source of money is Social Security, right? Right. And her check is less than what we charge for a bankruptcy. I mean, it's more than her monthly check.
Right.
And I said, well, I hate to see you blow that much money, Mom. So I suggest to the adult daughter, I said, get her a new phone. And when those, credit card bills come in at Mom's house, just write deceased, return to sender. And so now they're getting their letters back, deceased, return to sender. The phone's disconnected.
But what now? Can't that have an effect on her Social Security? If one of those creditors were to say, file a report that she's deceased, but then Social Security checks are still coming, wouldn't that maybe open up some kind of investigation?
Well, let's think about that. How much control do you have over somebody else's Social Security check? Like zip.
None.
No, because otherwise you'd be called to screw your neighbor. You'd call Social Security and say, by the way, Billy Bob died. You need to stop his Social Security check.
Right.
That's not the way it works. Even if it's your spouse and you need to report that they've passed away, you cannot do it on the phone. You cannot do it online. It has to be in person.
Oh, okay.
Because they don't want people screwing with other people's Social Security checks.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so there you go. So just kill off your mom, in kayfabe. Get her a new phone. Do that thing like they do in Breaking Bad where you snap the old phone in half, throw one to this side, one to that side. We'll call it good.
And so, and then mom moves in with daughter and they don't even know where she lives anymore. And mom's got peace of mind because nobody's calling her on the phone.
Absolutely.
And we've saved her, more than a month's pay. So sometimes we get a little creative.
Yeah. But that's where the fun comes into play. Because, the standard legal way to do things, it's like, all right, I've done this 1,000 times. This way, you kind of become a detective. You kind of get to put your gumshoes on a little bit, and get out there and see what options are available.
Yeah, get a little creative. It's a little fun. So that's what they ended up doing, I think. And so at least we helped this lady out. So now she's got her peace of mind. She's not being hassled.
That's an awesome thing to see. And you're not going to get something like that if you don't find a legal mind that knows what they're doing. Matt does. 575-625-5284, BristolLawOffice.net. .net is the place to visit. And again, if you're considering bankruptcy, I absolutely recommend just this free consultation. Just go talk to Matt. Let his brain work for you so that you don't have to panic, go into panic mode.
We'd be glad to help. We sure would.
Absolutely. Now it's been a minute since I've had the one-on-ones with you. And you usually like to end with a little historical quip or something else. Are we still doing that?
Yes.
Awesome.
If we have time?
Absolutely.
Okay. So the first rifle was actually, they had cannons and they made them smaller and smaller and smaller until they finally had man-portable cannons called guns. And the first one was called a matchlock.
Okay.
And so a lock was just the mechanical parts of it. So they had a locksmith make the parts because that was the local mechanic guy. And the match was just this rope that was slow burning, and they called it a match. So they had this slow burning rope that they used to actually set off the gunpowder. And then they had improved that to a flint lock.
Right.
Okay, so the mechanical moving parts of the gun are called the lock work. So then they had the flint lock. So then they came up with brass containers for powder. Okay. So instead of, loading the gunpowder down the front of the barrel.
And the musket ball and all that.
And the musket ball and all that. So now we have these brass containers where you can shoot a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So shooting therefore became more popular, especially in England. So now you can go duck hunting with these, just easily reloadable brass cases.
Mm-hmm.
So it became more popular. So more guns were manufactured. But still, you go to the locksmith, he would do the lock work, the moving parts actually inside the shotgun.
Mm-hmm.
You'd have to go to the barrel guy, and he would make the barrels for you. And then you would take all that into the stock guy who had the stock, and they put it all together.
Wow.
So you had to go to 3 different stores to get all this stuff done.
Mm-hmm.
And so when somebody got the idea of, well, why don't we just
consolidate? Yeah.
So if you do everything, you do it lock, stock, and barrel.
Holy moly. That's amazing. I never knew that. That is fantastic. So that was the origin of the term. That's amazing.
That's where that comes from.
Lock, stock, and 2 smoking barrels. Yeah. That's fantastic. 575-625-5284, BristolLawOffice.net. Let him put your mind at ease, folks. He's the brains of the operation, and he can get it done for you. Matt, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Sean. Enjoyed it very much.
Absolutely. Anytime you got anything going on, coming back to us.
Sure will.
Appreciate you. 6 minutes away from 8 o'clock. Let us pause for some local news.
Now, your Pecos Valley News Update. I'm Jared Sorello. A public meeting is planned for the Roswell Regional UFO Skate Park Complex. The last public meeting. It will feature the project team, of course, answering any questions that anyone might have. The meeting is planned for Thursday from 4 to 5 p.m. at the Roswell Public Library, 301 North Pennsylvania Avenue. The design for the skate park will also be presented at the City Council meeting on Thursday at 6 at the Roswell Convention Center. And street pavement improvements on West Mescalero Road between North Main Street and North Pennsylvania Avenue in Roswell that were scheduled to take place last week have now been rescheduled for this week, today through Wednesday. The work will be done by a contractor. It was delayed because of an equipment problem. The project will require the closure of that section of Mescalero Road during the work. Traffic detours, access to residences, and businesses will be provided. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello.
What is the number one tool in a stalker's toolbox? AirTags, tiles, or any other GPS tracker? And where do they love to hide them? Your car. I'm Kim Commando for Blinds.com. Right now, save up to 45% for a limited time at Blinds.com. Rules and restrictions may apply. Maybe you've got a crazy ex or just a gut feeling something's off. Thanks to GPS trackers, stalkers have a new level of open access to your life, and your car is their prime target. You need to give it a thorough check. Start with the outside. It's the easiest place for someone to attach a tracker without breaking in. Use a flashlight to look at the undercarriage, where trackers can magnetically be attached. Also, inspect the inside of the bumper. It has a hollow space that can house a small device. If someone had access to the inside of your car, look under the dashboard, where a tracker can be wired to the car's power source and hidden. Now, don't forget to check deep into your car's seat cushions and side panels. Trackers can easily be left there too. Sign up for my free newsletter at getkim.com. It's time to get your house summer ready. Cool down and freshen up with new premium window treatments from Blinds.com. Blinds.com invented a better way to shop for stylish blinds, shades, shutters, and even motorized options for your patio. Everything is 100% online, so you don't have to deal with overpriced showrooms or pushy salespeople inside your home. You can do the measurements and install yourself, or let Blinds.com pros handle it all for you. You can have multiple window coverings installed for just one low cost. Not sure what's the best for an odd-shaped window or to block the sun on your patio? Blinds.com design experts can help for free. They'll even send free samples directly to you. Plus, you always get transparent pricing on their website with no hidden fees, no hassle, and no multiple trips to a store. Shop Blinds.com right now and save up to 45% for a limited time. Rules and restrictions may apply. Shop Blinds.com right now and save up to 45%.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander. Stocks ended slightly lower on Friday in choppy trading after stronger than expected U.S. jobs data pointed to a robust economy, but prompted worries the Federal Reserve may wait longer to cut interest rates. The U.S. economy generated about 272,000 jobs in May, far more than the 185,000 analysts had forecast. Spirit Airlines is not considering a Chapter 11 bankruptcy and is encouraged by the plan it has in place after its deal with JetBlue Airways fell through. Shares of the ultra-low-cost carrier were down about 2% amid a decline in broader markets. Mike Lynch, once hailed as Britain's king of technology, has been cleared of charges alleging he orchestrated a fraud and conspiracy over the $11.1 billion purchase of his company by Hewlett-Packard in 2011. The not guilty verdicts followed an 11-week criminal trial. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
At Richland Motors, it's never been easier to sell or trade your current car, truck, or SUV for a newer model to hit the road in. Even if you don't purchase from Richland, they want to buy your vehicle for top dollar. But if you do buy from Richland, don't forget, they're the home of the powertrain warranty for life. That's a whole lot of confidence for you. See Richland for details. 2nd and Sycamore and 1309 Southeast Main.
Yes, cannabis is legal in New Mexico. Know that there are helpful rules for responsible cannabis use. Yes, you should only buy from a licensed dispensary. Know that if you don't, yours might contain harmful substances. And yes, lock up all cannabis, safely away from kids and pets, in a safe place. And know that cookie jars are not good options. Know your yeses and nos about all things cannabis. From the State of New Mexico Cannabis Control Division. Go to yesandnosnm.com.
At Anderson Bethany Funeral Home and Crematorium, we honor and pay tribute to the achievements of your loved one by celebrating the life you shared together. Anderson Bethany Funeral Home and Crematorium is compassionate and cares about our local community and the families we serve here in southeastern New Mexico. Locally owned and operated, we will be here to help you decide how to celebrate the bond you've shared and pay tribute to the unique individual you've lost. Visit us at 2609 South Main in Roswell or call 622-5888.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Astronauts are not allowed to eat beans before they go into space because passing wind in a spacesuit damages them. The suits for the astronauts. Here's Mike Winters. Bill Cunningham is now in Roswell on 106.5 FM KEND Roswell.
Jeremy House. A 4-day election has shaken the European Union's parliament to its foundations. Conservative parties rock ruling parties in France and Germany, the EU's main driving forces. Sophia Rusuk, an analyst at CEPS, says traditional European politicians are not coming up with strong enough arguments.
The mainstream parties, national parties, are not able to build a solid narrative around why Europe is good.
Still, the centers held as your pro-European parties remain the biggest in the nation's 27-nation bloc's assembly. The United States says it's setting up an operation in the Polish capital to help neighboring Ukraine counter Russian disinformation. Poland is a member of NATO along the military alliance's Eastern Front. Israel's rescue of 4 hostages from inside the Gaza Strip comes at a sensitive time in the 8-month-old war. Israel and Hamas are weighing an American-backed proposal for a ceasefire and the release of the remaining captives. Both sides face renewed pressure to make a deal. Cheating on a test has taken on a whole new meaning.
Toyota chairman Akio Toyoda has apologized for massive cheating on certification tests for 7 vehicle models. The fraudulent testing at Japan's top automaker involved the use of inadequate or outdated data in collision tests and incorrect testing of airbag inflation and rear seat damage in crashes. Engine tests were also found to be falsified. Toyota recently stopped production of 3 models made in Japan. The deceptive test does not affect the safety of the vehicles already on roads. 2 other Japanese automakers, Mazda and Honda, also recently reported improper testing of their vehicles, but said they are safe to use. Ron Taylor reporting.
On Wall Street, the Dow's ahead by 26.5 points. The NASDAQ is off by 56. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
There's been an attack on a bus carrying religious devotees in India-controlled Kashmir.
India's probing an attack in which suspected militants fired at a bus carrying Hindu pilgrims in India-controlled Kashmir, killing at least 9 and injuring over 30. The attack caused the vehicle to fall into a deep gorge on Sunday in Jammu province. A team from the National Investigation Agency has reached the site of the attack, the Press Trust of India news agency reports. A police officer says some of the victims had gunshot wounds and blamed the attack on Muslim militants who are fighting Indian rule in Kashmir. I'm Charles Dilladesma.
Colombia has marked the first anniversary of the rescue of 4 indigenous children who survived a small plane crash in the Amazon rainforest. News and analysis at townhall.com. A Georgia congressional candidate convicted for illegally demonstrating inside the U.S. Capitol on January 6, 2021, walked out of a televised debate with a fellow Republican. Chuck Hand says his misdemeanor conviction for illegal trespass is a sham that he expects to be expunged in time.
I was heard on numerous instances that day stating that we were not there for that. It will explain that my conduct on that day was very respectful and that I only seek to protest what I believe to be a stolen election. The reason I went inside of the Capitol is because I wanted to be the first in line to do so.
Audio courtesy of Georgia Public Broadcasting. Hand says he left the debate because he believed his opponents were unfairly attacking his wife. Hand and Wayne Johnson are competing for the GOP nomination in Georgia's 2nd Congressional District. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2.
The dues
of a morning without Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Monday. Mixmaster Mike Winters and his lovely bride, Ms. Kim, off setting sail. I believe they're boarding today if they haven't already done so. So they'll be setting sail here in the very near future and, of course, enjoying some time on the cruise. So much deserved time off and time on the cruise.
New pet peeve unlocked.
What's that?
When the guest before me swings their mic all over.
And I'm not here.
And I have to swing it all the way back.
Well, if we're talking about mic technique, I am fascinated by Roy's mic technique because he'll come in and he will put his mic up here. And it's like, I'm not sure where you think the sound is coming out of, but it's not beforehand.
Up to my forehead.
Yeah, it's up to your forehead.
Well,
I respect it.
Like right now I'm leaned back and it's
Yeah.
like right actually pointed at my mouth. But
And- And you're a taller person too, so it sort of facilitates, better posture if you put the mic up a little higher. You kind of have to have a little regalness, a regality about you. I'm trying to see how I'm sitting I'm watching the camera feed.
Well, that's
I hold
for,
this for 30 seconds to see.
Well, when I'm getting in and out, I need to just kind of sit up and just kind of project my voice and stuff. But right now I'm comfortable, so I'm just kind of...
That makes sense. But Mixmaster Mike is he's off setting sail. He'll be back 1 week from tomorrow. I believe it is. Look forward to that. I got to tell you, I've never in my entire life been happier that it's Monday and semi-normal. The weekend that I just went through, holy crap. Okay, and it was all my own decision. I screwed up. Roswell has amazing facilities. We really do. We've got a great aquatic center. We've got great splash pads. We've got fantastic facilities here in Roswell. We just need to learn to take advantage of our own facilities. I made a mistake. Early on Saturday, I thought, I don't have any remotes or events this weekend. All my friends are off doing their vacation thing. I got the kids. I think I'm going to go to Artesia and go to the Artesia Aquatic Center. Because they have the lazy river and a couple extra slides, and it just seemed like, a fun little, mini road trip.
Yeah.
Now, before I embarked on this trip, I knew I was having an issue with one of my tires. I knew it was starting to it was threadbare on one side, and I knew it was going to be a problem. I just thought I had more time.
You felt safe?
I felt safe. You always think you have more time, but I didn't have more time. I get about 10 miles outside of Artesia, right where the speed limit changes from 70 to 65, where that little tuft of trees is. Right then, I look down at my gauge, and it says 24, low, meaning my tire pressure is at 24. I'm like, okay, so that's definitely something that needs to be addressed. And then I look down again, and it says 21. I said, oh, no.
Oh, no.
This tire is losing air rapidly.
Oh, no.
So then I look down, it says 19, and then it says 16, and then it says 13. And then by the time I finally got to a place where I could pull off and stop, I was at 7 PSI. So bad. So not great. And I'm just really trying to get off so I don't mess up the rim or whatever.
Yeah.
The other part of the next part of the story is the place I pulled off. I can't remember the name of the company. I'd love to give them a shout out because they were awesome. A couple of people helped me out, but it was an energy services company right there, right before you get into Artesia. But their driveway, their parking lot it's caliche dirt. If you're familiar with caliche sand or caliche dirt, it's that super microscopic, like thin dust particles, not like sand. It's like sand you can slough off. This stuff, like, you can still see it in my shoe. Like I sat there and tried to get it off my shoe. You can still see the caliche in my shoe. So I'm down there in this, like in the dirt and stuff, trying to kind of figure out what's going on. I have a jack. It's not a good jack. It's one of those crank jacks.
Yeah.
Also, I'm on uneven ground. So at some point, my jack.
Also, I was tired.
I was tired, yeah. But I got all my nuts loosened. I got the hubcap off. Got all my nuts loosened. And then right as I got my last nut to where it cracked, it fell off the jack. And I look at the jack, and my jack was completely like bent and broken. So now I don't have a jack either on top of things. Luckily, they were just changing shift at this place that I was fixing my tire. A really nice gentleman came out and went and grabbed his jack, came over and helped me get the car jacked up, got the donut on. So I'm like, okay, I've got the donut on my car. Now, any logical thinking human being would say, now we begin a slow 30 to 35 mile an hour trek back to Roswell. right?
Mm-hmm.
Here's the thing. I have a daughter in the back seat with autism, and she wasn't taking no for an answer about going swimming in Artesia.
Oh.
So I went ahead and slow 35-mile-an-hour wade my way back into Artesia to go to the aquatic center. We get there at right about 1 o'clock, walk up to the counter, and they're closed. They close for an hour from 1 to 2 for cleaning. So I'm like, you people suck so bad. So we went and got lunch, fine, whatever. Came back, everything was fine. Got in the pool, went swimming, great. Get back in our car, and I said, now we have to begin the very slow drive back to Roswell. So I stop off at Allsup's, and that's when I get a call from my kid's mom that says, hey, just so you know, they closed down 285 2 miles south of Midway because of brownout conditions and multiple pileups. Apparently there was several accidents out on 285 between right just past where the Midway exit is. So
you really prepared this story, didn't you?
No, this is the first time I've actually told it in its entirety. Everybody else has gotten the Cliff's Notes version. So I'm like, okay, we'll take Highway 2. We'll try the old Clovis Highway. Oh no. I was getting flashed. And bear in mind, I'm still on a donut, so I didn't want to go into this treacherous condition, like that. Luckily, our fearless leader, Mr. Gene Dow, was able to call in a favor and get me and the kids put up at the Pecos Inn in Artesia for the evening, wherein they also had a pool. And so we decided to go swimming again, and my son almost drowned. So that was fun. Yeah, we pulled him out of the pool. He got all the water out of his system and stuff. But as we were walking by the next day to check out, he said, there's the pool I drowned in. Which I thought was pretty funny. He's like, you didn't drown. You almost did. We saved you. Don't worry.
Yeah.
So that was my weekend all in all. It was just a whole lot of just nonsense. And this is why I will never leave town without a friend.
Yeah.
I've learned something. Most of my friends will take reins and they'll like control the trip, but at least we all survive. I should never be handed the reins to be like the one in control of a trip. I need an adult. That's all I'm saying. It was a long weekend.
Yeah, I don't know how to follow that up. I'm sorry.
Point is, I guess the moral of the story is plan ahead. If you fail to plan to fail. That's the moral of the story. Oh, and check your tires, kids.
You failed the man.
I failed myself and my children. But honestly, all in all, it was my kids had a blast, and I try to reside myself by the thought that 100 bad days, 100 good stories. Those stories make me interesting at parties. I'm good. I'm just gonna call it like I see it.
I'm just thinking of that meme. Have you seen it where like there's a child swimming, and then there's the mom playing with the child, and then in the background the child is there's another child drowning.
Oh yeah.
and then on the bottom there's just like a skeleton at the bottom of the pool.
No, we were cannonballing. We were doing cannonballs, and
just like sitting in a chair.
Hunter got swept up in one of the cannonballs he was trying to do, and yeah, water in the mouth and face.
See, Hunter is the one drowning, and now I'm trying to think who's the skeleton.
Hunter's definitely the same one. Kim checking on the text said they're having a great time today and tomorrow, all day sailing at sea. Nice. So that kind of gives you the chance before you actually get to a port of call, you get your sea legs. You kind of get the feel of the boat and how it's rocking, and whether or not you should go knocking.
They must be bored because if they have time to listen to this show.
I don't know. They're listening to this show to make sure we're not talking smack.
Yeah, right.
That's the whole point. No, of course they're having a blast. And Mike and Kim, we wish you the best. I hope you guys have a great time. Take a lot of pictures, and I can't wait to see how it all goes down. Let me give you the rundown for this hour of the program. Coming up here in just a couple minutes, we're going to be sitting down chit-chatting with Miss Elaine Mayfield. Galacticon season is upon us, and it's going to be a weekend chock full of all sorts of fun and activities. We'll run down everything that's going to be happening at this Galacticon 2024 coming up here in just a few minutes on this Monday morning. Plus your Sean Hannity update and anything else that comes across the board on this Monday morning. 16 minutes now after 8 o'clock. Let us pause and check a little local weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Some showers and thunderstorms possible today. We have a nearly stationary front and a lot of moist air available. Some of those storms could have damaging wind and large hail today. We'll be in the mid-80s on the afternoon high. Maybe a few lingering showers overnight, and we're down to the mid-60s, and then things dry out on Tuesday. Sunny and hot, upper 90s to about 100. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 69 degrees. Nice. Humidity at 70%. Winds out of the north at around 7 miles an hour. Barometer at 30.11 inches with a dew point of 59 degrees. The forecast for today, it's actually going to be quite nice. Not a lot of heat in the forecast, although storm clouds are gathering. We could have us a storm or two. Scattered showers, thunderstorms afternoon. Some of those could be severe. Partly sunny. Only 85 for the high, but a 50% chance of precipitation. New rainfall amounts of 1/10 to 1/4 of an inch are possible, except higher amounts in those thunderstorms. Scattered showers and thunderstorms before 9 p.m., then isolated showers between 9 and midnight. Some of those storms could be severe. Partly cloudy, a low of around 66 degrees. North wind 5 miles an hour, becoming south after midnight. Chance of rain is about 30%. Sunny skies and 95 for the high on Tuesday, so semi back to normal. Winds out of the south 5 to 10 miles an hour. We're only climbing the thermometer from there. 70 and mostly clear for your Tuesday night. Back up to 98 on Wednesday. 105 for your high on Thursday. Then 103 for the high on Friday with a slight chance of rain, only about 20%. 102 for Saturday and back up to 104 for the high on Sunday. So batten down the hatches, but enjoy some semi-cool weather today. You're not going to get a lot of it in the very near future. 18 minutes after 8 o'clock. Going to pay a couple of these bills, and after these, sitting down, chatting with Miss Elaine Mayfield, talking Galacticon 2024 on a morning without Mike Winters. Stay tuned.
Attention Roswell and surrounding areas. Is your old car, truck, or SUV on life support?
Clear.
With new management and a whole new attitude, Roswell Ford makes trading up to a new Ford or quality pre-owned vehicle fast, fun, and easy. Upside down in your loan or stuck in your lease? Roswell Ford wants to get you released even if you owe thousands more than your trade is worth, regardless of make, miles, or condition. Right now, get huge savings with rates as low as 0% for 66 months and no payments until Labor Day. Plus, we have a great selection of low-mileage, one-owner pre-owned vehicles, all in prime condition, starting at just $10,000. Don't settle for a low-quality, overpriced clunker. Buy a quality pre-owned vehicle from Roswell Ford for a lot less. Worried about your credit? Don't sweat it. We've partnered with the most aggressive lenders that will push to approve you today, even with bad or no credit. Lower prices, exceptional trade-in values, and a better buying experience. Get on board at Roswell Ford, 821 North Main Street in beautiful Roswell, or online at roswellford.com. $1,515 per thousand financed on select new Ford models with approved credit.
Are you walking around with a space in your mouth from a missing tooth? Are you having difficulty chewing? Or are you holding back on your big smile in those group photos? Hi, this is Dr. Sarah Usher with Carabelli Dental. Did you know that we provide dental implant treatment for our patients? We can help you replace one tooth or all your teeth with dental implants. Why not call our office today? Set up an appointment and let's chat about options that will boost your confidence and allow you to live the life with the smile you want.
Come see the team at Carabelli Dental at the corner of 9th and Main in Roswell, or call 575-622-4455. Do you love your car? Yes. Well, Roswell Hyundai wants to help you keep your current car with a lower payment. Introducing Refi with Hyundai. Roswell Hyundai wants to help you refinance your current vehicle with rebates and discounts to lower your payment. If you're ready to upgrade, Roswell Hyundai has a fresh inventory of new and pre-owned vehicles with special financing available regardless of your credit with I-10 accepted. Don't forget, all new Hyundais come with a 5-year bumper-to-bumper warranty and 3 years of free oil changes. So, what makes Roswell Hyundai the #1 used car dealership in southeastern New Mexico? You do. Roswell Hyundai, 1909 West 2nd.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. China has more English speakers than the United States. They have more Chinese speakers, too. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning, 21 minutes after 8 o'clock. And joining us in studio this morning, just got to make sure we have all the mics on correctly, Miss Elaine Mayfield from Galacticon 2024. How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
Also joining us this morning, now I did catch your name, Miss Sarah Lee Fajardo from the Roswell Daily Record?
Yes.
Yes. And what's your name, sir?
Packy Fajardo.
Packy Fajardo. He's just here for show.
Yeah. Yes.
He's the showpiece.
That's
Understood.
right.
So I know we always say, oh, we got plenty of time, but then it's a weekend before and we're like, oh, we have nothing planned. So obviously we're trying to get everything in order, hit the ground running. Galacticon is going to be here in a matter of weeks.
True.
That is scary. So let's talk about it a little bit. How are the planning stages going?
Everything's good. As said before, we've got a coalition of four major entities.
Okay.
That we're all working together. The city dropped back somewhat this last year, and
a coalition of the willing, if you will.
Pardon?
A coalition of the willing.
That's right. There you go. I like that. And so we're all working together to put on the great show. The four major entities are Main Street and the UFO Museum, Roswell Galacticon, and Roswell Daily Record.
Absolutely.
And Sarah Lee is with Roswell Daily Record, and she and I share the convention center site. So wanted to get her in early and talk a little bit about what they're doing as well.
Yes, because in addition to Galacticon, in addition to all the other festivities, we're going to be holding a sci-fi film festival.
Correct.
At the convention center there, in conjunction with Roswell Daily Record.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes, that's what we are doing. Yes.
Excellent. So that's going to be happening same time as Galacticon, all inside the convention center, correct?
Yes.
Correct.
Excellent. So now, pull back of the curtain. I actually got a chance to be in one of these film festival films like 12 years ago. We did a film for a movie called Tang.
I remember that.
Tom Quiet was our director, and he was in the movie, and I was a frat boy. Basically, my whole role was I had to stay in this house in a wife beater and play beer pong all day.
Not typecast, were you?
Not at all. For like 9 hours, though, I was just sitting there throwing a ball into beer cups. So it's such a weird experience, though, because you got to think about coverage. You do all this stuff from one side, and then the cameras move to the other side. And you got to do the exact same thing all over again. It's such a process, but it's so much fun, and it's great to see the creativity come out of these young filmmakers.
Yes,
it's absolutely awesome. So. Let's talk about the film festival. How do we know how many films we're going to be showing?
We've had over 120 entries.
Wow.
Which is great.
Sure.
I'm not sure. They're going through the process now of viewing all the videos, what we're going to see, what's going to be. The finalists are going to be the ones that are showing throughout the whole weekend. And then we're also going to be showing, we have night movies outside on the patio.
Nice.
So we'll have E.T., the Iron Giant. E.T. will be, I think it's the 4th of July evening, and then the Iron Giant is Saturday night after the parade.
You just gave me chills. I cannot wait to show my kids the Iron Giant.
Yeah.
And we are bringing the animator in.
Yes, so
he's our special artist. Steve Garcia. He's from Albuquerque.
Is he really?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and he's coming in, and he'll be there all weekend, so the kids can see him, talk to him, maybe figure out some way to get an autograph.
And I love that. I love his art style too, because it borrows a lot from the war propaganda artwork from like the 50s, 60s, and 70s.
Yeah.
And,
Did you know he's worked on Simpsons?
Did he really?
That blows me away.
Yeah. Well, honestly, at this point, who hasn't? I'm pretty sure I have. I'm pretty sure I have a credit on The Simpsons from the 90s. But that's awesome. So the film festival is going to run all day Friday and all day Saturday.
That's correct. Yes.
Awesome. And that's in the convention center.
So where you want to stay nice and cool and get out of the heat, come to the convention center.
That's the big sell. They've got air conditioning.
We have air conditioning.
There's air conditioning. Yes.
We also have a huge sell. We have a free playground and water park put on by Let's Entertainment.
Really?
The city has sponsored various small items for us to help along from the lodger's tax monies.
Sure.
And one of those that we chose was to have a free family water park and playground. Draw everybody up there. We also have free parking, huge parking lot, free parking.
That's another big one. I mean,
and air conditioning. What more do you want?
And air conditioning. And anybody who's spent time in Roswell over UFO Festival and Galacticon weekend knows there's a lot of people. It's going to be a packed house around Roswell.
Yes.
A lot of heads and a lot of beds, and that's where Lodger's Tax comes into play. And we thank them for their support on this. But it's great to see that there's you guys are coming together like this, because and we won't go into a lot of it, but it's been such a divisive issue over the years of who's going to run what, and it just makes more sense for the greater good of Roswell to all come together and make it happen. And I love that.
Yeah.
And that also allows for diversity.
Absolutely.
And I think that's really important for each of our entities has their own specialty and can put all their work into it, and it helps a lot.
UFO Festival and the stuff at the museum, there's a lot of ufologists that show up, a lot of people with information.
They kind of do the speakers, the serious side speakers, etc.
Getting into the research library thing. Whereas Galacticon, you guys have always taken the cosplay reins, the fantasy and the sci-fi reins, and really run with that. Starting off with the steampunk roots from years
and
ago.
we're getting back a little bit of the steampunk. I think it kind of waned for a while, but I like steampunk because an old lady can have fun with it.
Absolutely. It's such a cool style. That was the big draw for me for Wild Wild West. The movie was everything looks like robotic, but also very old school.
Yes.
So if you're a cosplayer, now's the time to start getting your if you haven't already, get your costumes ready, get everything planned out. Obviously, we're going to be having costume contest again this year.
Right, we're actually having cosplay contest at the Galacticon on Saturday afternoon. You have to be there from noon to 3. Judging is at 3.
Okay.
So we're finished like 4:30. Then you go over, and the costume contest is at the stage, the main stage by the courthouse, and that starts at 6. So you can enter that one, and that's what we're trying to do. Is you're in costume. Let's take advantage.
Sure.
And then the parade is at 8:00 if we want to ride in the parade
There you
or
go.
walk in the parade.
So you're really getting the most out of your cosplay outfit. Now, I'm curious. When you say it's a cosplay contest versus like a costume contest, is this more like an immersive? I'm in character.
Correct.
So you
cosplay means you
imbue the
develop
character.
your own persona. You may be doing one from another thing like anime or a movie or something, but you kind of develop the whole persona in something that fits you. A lot of serious cosplayers go in on Friday into that character and come out Sunday evening on the way home.
It's very method. That's why if you got like Gimli, somebody dressed up as like Gimli from Lord of the Rings,
right?
He's going to be very angry and very short-tempered all weekend.
We had 16 cosplayers at the Tal Day recently.
Really awesome. And I've known a few cosplayers over the years, and it's such a passion. They take it so seriously, and it really is. It's their way of life.
That's right,
so to speak. So it's awesome. It's really cool to see people really sink into the character. But obviously the costume contest to follow, and then the pet costume contest is happening as well. Correct?
Saturday morning, right?
Saturday
That's
morning.
the Rio Pecos Kennel Club, and this year we got a new sponsor is Wildlife Safari Emporium.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. So dress up the pets. I'm going to say probably your canines. I don't know if you ever tried to dress up a cat. It don't go well.
I've even had a painted horse.
I have
before.
scars. But yeah, lizards, ponies. Get them all dressed up.
Well, I think RDR's also aren't you doing the tours this year as well?
Yeah, we're doing the tour for the Roswell Daily Record, so you can go actually take the tour of the Roswell Daily Record and have the press running, so you can see the actual press running.
It's very popular last year.
We still have our press. Shocking.
No, that's incredible. Years and years ago, this was when I was still in high school. My father, who worked at New Mexico Mutual Casualty Company, which handled the work comp for the record, went in to do a night audit / tour, and I actually was with him, and it was like 2 a.m, and they had just fired up the press, and just to watch the papers come out, like fly off, and there's one guy who'll just grab one up to check it. It's such a cool process.
Yeah.
It really is. So those tours are going to be going on. Are you guys just doing one, or are those going to be happening all day?
I think they're going to be Saturday. I think we've still got to get the schedule out on that, but I think we're doing 3 or 4 of those tours on Saturday, and we'll get that schedule out as soon as possible.
Excellent. And activities continuing into Sunday in some capacity. The vendors will still be open.
Right, the vendors still be open. We still need the traffic, so to speak.
Absolutely.
Another thing that RDR does, and I'm sitting here pushing RDR because they're so important, and we're sharing our space, but they put out a vision supplement every year that's 20 pages, and Chris Stock does the editing on that visions articles, but it's a backbone of everything.
It's the backbone of everything. It's a full schedule of everything that's going on. Everything that's going on throughout all of Roswell too, not just what's going on downtown and stuff. So.
And that's key, because in years past, like with all the separation of things, it was hard to keep track of who's doing what.
And
where.
there were 3 schedules sometimes.
Yeah,
and because you're like, okay, the costume contest, was that Galacticon or was that UFO Festival?
Right, where was that?
And with all of us coming together, and the vision insert's going to have all the activities, kind of laid out chronologically for you. So if you want to take some time to go to the water park, cool off a little bit, then head over to the UFO Festival or the UFO Museum to take in some of the speakers. Then head back to the convention center to spend a little money on some art exhibits, some amazing comic books. I've recently started my comic book collection, and it's fascinating to me how many branches of comic books there are. Like, I'm not really crazy about the action comics. Those are cool when they have their own history. I grew up watching Sonic the Hedgehog. And when I found out there's like a 187 volume Sonic the Hedgehog in comic book form, it's an Archie Comics, I was very excited. So, but something for everybody, whether you're a new collector, whether you're somebody who likes to collect vintage, you like, there's been a lot of attention put on resin work lately. People making their own pieces and selling them made out of resin and some blown glass work as well. You're going to find all that at Galacticon.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Something for everybody out there, and it's just going to be an absolute blast. Now, things officially get underway on Friday, correct? It's Friday, the 5th of July.
Yeah, do you have this sideways schedule?
Yes, I do.
That's the best one for
Gotcha,
us.
gotcha. Okay. So Thursday is going to be a setup day. Everybody kind of come in, get everything set up. By Friday, that's when everything kind of gets underway.
Well, Thursday night is the first free film.
Oh, there.
Yep, E.T.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. Yep, you're right. Absolutely. So, so things will be happening starting Thursday evening. The Galactic Playground is going to be set up as well. Friday, festivities continue. Looks like Clyde Lewis
That's
scheduled.
an important one to
That's what I was
discuss
gonna
as
say.
well.
Clyde Lewis is doing his show. He'll be at the, he's going to be all over Roswell, but on Friday, he's going to be at the convention center. And then I think from 8 o'clock to like 10 o'clock, he's going to be doing his show.
Actually broadcasting from there.
And
Broadcasting
I have
from
to
there.
check on this. I probably shouldn't say this on there, but I have to check. I'm pretty sure we're going to have that running also on KSVPTV.com.
Oh, that'd be great. That'd be great.
With video. So
You're welcome to come down and broadcast from the convention center.
It's funny. The last time we had Clyde down, we got him sold on Dion's Pizza and just how amazing it is. And he was so eager to do a live read for Dion's. He's like, "Oh, I'll do it. I love Dion." So I'm sure he's happy to come back to Roswell just to get his hands.
Well,
on
this
some-
is one of their special events, the Clyde Lewis at the convention center.
Excellent.
I think that is that sponsored?
That's sponsored by the city also. Yes.
Yeah, one of theirs. Yeah.
Very good. Of course, Clyde Lewis, you'll hear him here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM as well. The film festival continues through Saturday. That's going to be happening from 9 to 5. And then the free family film is 9 to 11. And Saturday, you said that's Iron Giant, correct?
Yeah, that's going to be Iron Giant.
And we have the Iron Giant animator.
And that's so exciting. I can't wait to meet him and see kind of get inside his brain a little bit. So just all sorts of festivities, all sorts of activities. It's a lot to keep track of, and that's why we're really glad we've had you come in quite a few times to get people aware and get people ready for it, because it's coming quick.
Right. Yeah, I'll be in the next 3 Mondays, same time, same place, and a different aspect of what we're doing. So
excellent. Now, how are we on vendors? Are we all set? Do we have room space?
We're really good on vendors. I worked with Barb and the Main Street crew Saturday. We had about a 5-hour marathon with vendors, and we still could use a few more, especially if somebody wants to be at the convention center. We need about 4 or 5. Don't want too many more than that, so everybody makes good money.
There you go.
But the parking lot we're not using for vending at all. That is for parking. We need it.
Parking and we'll have the water thing.
Yeah, it'll
nearby.
be that'll be kind of on the patio side toward the museum, that corner.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
where there's a little more shade.
Yeah,
by the way.
And we're gonna have like water slides and bouncy houses, and I think there's a slip and slide.
Nice.
Yeah. So some things that the kids can get wet, but it's free to the public, and it's Let's Play entertainment, so it'll be well manned and watched, which is important to us. Former city employee, think in terms of insurance and liability.
Well, and one of my favorite stand-up comics back in the day, Dane Cook, used to talk about how you take this thin sheet of plastic and you run it over your lawn with the sticker bushes and the rocks. They should have called that product Slip and Bleed.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah, unless you get that thing just wet enough.
And if anybody had a slopey front yard, it was awesome.
The best. They didn't start doing it until I was like an older kid, but you remember the slip and slides that had the little pool at the end?
Yes.
It was never big enough for anything. You just dolphin over that thing, kind of free willy it, and you're in the dirt. But yeah, it sounds like that's gonna just all sorts of fun. It's all centered there at the convention center. That's going to be a great starting off point for the film festival with Roswell Daily Record, for the tours, for all the vendors, and all the discussions that are going to be happening there, the talks. Then just a few blocks away, UFO Museum and Research Center. It's going to be open to the public. They'll have all their stuff on display. It's going to be a very busy weekend.
Yes,
But,
it is.
It is.
There's a lot of
foot
good
traffic.
changes too downtown with the Main Streets Alien Fest, I
Alien
believe.
Fest,
Yeah.
yes.
Now, are we? I mean, I know this isn't your department. Do you know if they're shutting down
Yes.
2nd to 5th again?
Oh yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
awesome.
yeah. And I'm in on the committee. We both are working. As I said, it's a coalition.
Yeah.
It really is. But there'll be 2 stages this year. There'll be one at the courthouse and one a corner First or Walnut, right in that area, which would be more the cultural stage with Tejano music.
Oh, very
and
cool.
yeah, we're excited about that. We got some wonderful people coming in. Saul is doing getting all the talent, and I've seen that list, and that's looking pretty good too. And I'm sure that'll be out shortly.
Absolutely, looking forward to seeing that.
But
it's always awesome to see some of the local entertainment come out, and you see them at these festivals, and then they just kind of go into hiding. Like, where are you guys 8 months out of the year? I know we got our heavy hitters, your Nova Rushes, your Marie Mannings, but some of these bands you kind of hide out for the rest of the year. You know?
Yeah.
Book some shows. Get people used to your music.
We've got Matthew Palmer.
Awesome.
Fabulous talent.
Awesome.
His mother's been one of our vendors for years, and they were steampunk people too.
Oh, very
they were in
cool.
there, yeah.
Very cool. So, and it's one of those things that we've been doing this for so long and for so many years now, especially with the expanded with Galacticon and everything, that people who participated in the first Galacticons, they're now bringing their kids, and they're now letting them get involved in part of the process.
Yeah, I started in 2007 with the 60th anniversary. So I've been around a long time with it.
2007.
I also want to say another entity, the museum, the UFO Museum and Research Center.
Yes.
They've been doing so much in the last year to introduce electronics and interactive things, digital, computer work, and all. It's really fascinating. And if you haven't been in a while, you haven't been.
I will say, if you have not been to the Roswell Museum, Roswell UFO Museum, it has completely changed inside. Because I went when you do the obligatory visit when you first move to Roswell.
Right.
You're like, well, I guess I'm going to do this now. And you go through, and all right, I'm not disparaging, not trying to cast aspersions.
No, everything grows.
Back in the day, it was so sad. It was like this drawing by 3rd grader Gretchen. It's like, this is a museum, but it's so much better now. There's lights and
definitely.
lasers. There's that little like rocket simulator right at the end where you have to kind of like simulate the landing of the.
Yeah, Alan Trevor's been working on a lot of that. He
Nice.
was here for many years as the Dean of Media Arts out at the university. He's now at CNM in Albuquerque, but he's been contracted to come down and work on a lot of that. And
He was he was the man who taught me Photoshop.
yeah, he started the film festival part of what we did, and that was when he moved. We just didn't have anybody with the passion until RDR stepped forward
There
with
you go.
Toby. So it's like, pass it on. Yes,
Yeah.
please do good.
Pass the torch and to watch it grow from what it was to what
Absolutely.
it is now. That's amazing.
It needs passion. You have to have it for this.
You really do.
Because the pay's not good.
No, that's for sure.
I work in radio. I understand. So obviously a lot to keep track of. The Vision is going to be coming out. Is that the Thursday before?
It's actually going to be inserted in Friday's newspaper,
Okay.
and then we'll have it out and distributed on Thursday. We'll have them at the different hotels or whoever requests them. Main Street's going to have ton. Different vendors throughout. The city will have them. So
Convention Center.
So wherever they're
Some
going to
guy
be
named
all
Lyle
over
on the
Roswell.
corner of 13th Street. He'll have a stack of them.
Exactly.
Selling them for $5.
That's right. That always cracks me up when people come up to me at remotes and we have our T-shirts and they say, "How much are these?" I'm like, "Come on, you know how this works. This is a billboard for my radio station. I'm not going to charge you for it. Just take it and be happy." But so lots to keep track of. Get a hold of that Vision magazine, and as we get closer and closer, obviously still a couple of spaces for vendors. But if folks want more information, or if maybe they have something they can help you out with, how do they reach out?
Yes. My number is 575-626-2640. That's Condor at dfn.com.
Condor.
Yeah. Nice. Well, it kind of came about being a zoo director and
Makes sense.
animal end of it, but also Lord of the Rings. It kind of had the ring to it. So it ended up, that was, 40 years ago, 30 years ago, whenever all that was settled.
This is completely unrelated, but I watched a story from a few years ago last night. There was a lady who owned a property in California. Beautiful property, had a beautiful deck overlooking the mountains. Well, these California condors decided this is where we're going to live now. And they basically took up her entire patio. There's like a video of her shooting out her sliding glass door of just hundreds of condors just all gathering on her property. And you can't do anything about it because they're a protected species. Mm-hmm. So they're like, well...
Yeah, they were down to 20 some originally. Mm-hmm. They're back up now, probably 40, 50, 60.
Quite a few.
Maybe 100.
But every condor in existence was on her property. And they said, well, I guess you're moving, aren't you? So condor at dfn.com, correct?
Yes.
Very good.
That's right.
Very good. So lots of places if you need more information, or if maybe you want to contribute, be a part of the program, volunteer.
We definitely need some volunteers.
Yes, we need volunteers.
Just to help work the doors and seat people and ask questions and not maybe answer questions, but know who we will. Mm-hmm. So we definitely could use some volunteers.
So volunteers, if you're out there, if you want to be a part of this convention, and as we say, it's always growing. Where we are now, 10 years from now, it's going to be so much bigger. I mean, we're going to look back at now, this festival, and say, what a silly festival with all these festivities. It's always growing. So be a part of it. Get in on the ground floor and watch it flourish.
That's right.
It's exciting.
Yeah.
Really and also the parade. Don't forget the parade.
Yes, the parade.
Do come out and at least watch it. But if you want to enter it,
Saturday evening, correct?
Yes, 8 o'clock Saturday evening. It's 8 o'clock, I think they gather at the World Bowl. Mm-hmm. And that's not on that one since that's our...
Yep. Yeah. So, and obviously if you have a vehicle, you can throw some lights on there.
Oh, yeah.
Or an alien head.
It should be fun and silly and last minute, and who cares?
There you go. Yeah, throw something together and see what happens.
Exactly.
Very cool.
Or line up and watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
And we're going to show the movie, or they are, after it.
Right after.
So Iron Giant. So from there, just come on up.
It all goes into the other. And that's something that, outside of your Eastern Mexico State Fair parade, it's hard to get a good crowd for parades. I want to see Main Street lined this year for this parade. I mean, just a bunch of happy faces. It's awesome to see when a community comes together, and it's the way that all the entities have come together as one. It's great to see it. So this is going to be a good year.
I think so.
I think so too.
Very excited about it.
I really do.
So now, real quick, the actual film festival itself begins Friday, and that begins at 9 a.m.
Yes.
So and it's all free.
Yes.
Absolutely free. So if you're out and about on Friday, it starts at 9 a.m. That's when the convention's going to be opened up, or the convention center. They'll have some of the vendors set up already. Some more will be opening up. But get there early and be a part of this film festival. It's going to be a great experience.
Exactly.
Fantastic. Well, ladies, thank you so much for your time. I'll drop that number one more time, 575-626-2640.
Correct.
If you want to volunteer or need any more information about Galacticon. And, of course, what's the website? Galacticon.com?
RoswellGalacticon.com. And also, the main site is UFOfestival.com.
Yeah, and that's a catch-all.
That's the catch-all, and the four entities, Main Street, UFO Museum, RDR, Galacticon.
There you go. UFOfestival.com is for all the info that you need to know.
And it has links right there. You just click.
Perfect. Fantastic. Well, ladies, thank you so much for your time.
Absolutely.
Right. Thank you.
And gentlemen.
The quiet one back there.
No. Yeah. It's the strong, silent type. He's the one holding it down. I panic if there's more than 2 seconds of silence. This dude knows what's up. Well, good luck, ladies. It's going to be a blast. I can't wait to see how it goes. And,
Absolutely.
And we'll see you back next Monday.
Yep.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
15 away from 9 o'clock. Let us pause and get you up to date with some local weather.
Now, your Pecos Valley News Update. I'm Jared Sorello. A public meeting is planned for the Roswell Regional UFO Skate Park Complex. The last public meeting. It will feature the project team, of course, answering any questions that anyone might have. The meeting is planned for Thursday from 4 to 5 p.m. at the Roswell Public Library, 301 North Pennsylvania Avenue. The design for the skate park will also be presented at the City Council meeting on Thursday at 6 at the Roswell Convention Center. And street pavement improvements on West Mescalero Road between North Main Street and North Pennsylvania Avenue in Roswell that were scheduled to take place last week have now been rescheduled for this week, today through Wednesday. The work will be done by a contractor. It was delayed because of an equipment problem. The project will require the closure of that section of Mescalero Road during the work. Traffic detours will be in place. Access to residences and businesses will be provided. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. 47.2% of all statistics are made up on the spot. Is this true? I'd say chances are about 50%. Here's Mike Winters.
I'm not chewing ice. You're chewing ice. 14 minutes away from 9 o'clock. Let us get you up to date with the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Some showers and thunderstorms possible today. We have a nearly stationary front and a lot of moist air available. Some of those storms could have damaging wind and large hail today. We'll be in the mid-80s on the afternoon high. Maybe a few lingering showers overnight, and we're down to the mid-60s, and then things dry out on Tuesday. Sunny and hot, upper 90s to about 100. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 69 degrees around Roswell Way. Humidity, let me pull the old forecast up here. Humidity at 70% with winds out of the north at around 7 miles per hour. Barometer is at 30.11 inches with a dew point of 59 degrees. Looking at mostly sunny skies first part of the day, then a mix in clouds of sun, scattered showers, thunderstorms throughout the afternoon. Some of those storms could produce severe weather. Partly sunny, 85 for the high today with a 50% chance of showers and thunderstorms. Those showers and thunderstorms continue into tonight with a 30% chance of showers into your 9 o'clock hour, then isolated showers from 9 to noon or to midnight. Some of those storms could be severe, partly cloudy, again, a low of around 66 degrees and a 30% chance of precipitation for your Monday evening. For your Tuesday, sunny skies, 95 degrees for the high, so warming back up, but not quite to the DEFCON levels that we were at most of last week. But 95 for the high, winds out of the south 5 to 10 miles an hour, becoming north later in the afternoon. Mostly clear, and 70 for your Tuesday night, winds out of the northeast 5 to 10 miles an hour. Wednesday, sunny and hot, 98 for the high, mostly clear, 71 for your Wednesday night. Back up to the danger zone by Thursday, 105 for the high on Thursday, 74 for Thursday night, and a 20% chance of rain, which means it's going to be a bit muggy on Friday, in addition to 103 for the high. 102 for your Saturday and 104 for Sunday. The good news on those, doesn't sound like we're going to have at least a whole lot of humidity in the forecast. So, like your annoying uncles from Arizona say, it's a dry heat. Yeah, well, so's an oven. 12 minutes now, 11 minutes away from 9 o'clock. Let us get you up to date with your Lou Dobbs Market Report.
All across America, this is the Lou Dobbs Business Report.
I'm Lou Dobbs. Fed meetings this week, more key inflation updates, and GameStop earnings tomorrow. Wall Street still processing the May jobs report, that ahead of this week's Fed decision on rates. Non-farm payrolls added 272,000 jobs, well above the 190,000 estimate. No chance the Fed's making interest rate cuts this week, though. More concerned that cuts will be pushed back even further, in fact. Now investors waiting on more inflation data. The May Consumer Price Index projected to have risen only slightly over April. This mostly due to the falling oil prices. Core CPI, meanwhile, likely increased 0.3% year over year. The May CPI report out Wednesday. Wall Street targeting the May Producer Price Index, down sharply over the previous month. The PPI update comes Thursday. GameStop earnings after tomorrow's closing bell. The stock's been on a roller coaster ride over the past week, to say the least. The stock's still climbing. Oracle up 6% the past month, up 20% this year. Broadcom's annual revenue likely up more than 35% from a year ago. The chip maker up nearly 30% on the year. Broadcom earnings come Wednesday. Please join me twice each weekday for the Lou Dobbs Business Report right here.
Business news you need to know. Keep listening for more. This is the Lou Dobbs Business Report.
I've been hearing a lot about Lang Insurance. They sell luxury home insurance to high net worth individuals in all 50 states. Call Kevin Lang at Lang Insurance. Call 866-964-4434. He's an expert in reviewing your current coverage to save you money, leaving you with your current insurance company or moving you to a less expensive one. Kevin speaks with every new client. Your call, they quote, you save. That's 866-964-4434 or visit langins.com.
Strong women need strong partners to help them lead their healthiest lives. At Artesia General Hospital, Dr. Scott Beard and nurse practitioner Lori Crockett deliver compassionate, holistic care to women at every age and stage. From routine checkups to diagnostic testing and specialty services like urogynecology, you can expect the most innovative personalized care close to home. Learn more about women's services at Artesia General Hospital online at artesiageneral.com/women or by calling 575-736-8394. Many women's services are also offered in Carlsbad.
Cash for Junkers is back at Roswell Honda, and that means if you can push it, pull it, or drag it to Roswell Honda, it's worth up to $3,000 towards your next vehicle. And with a lot chock full of beautiful new and pre-owned vehicles to choose from, your old busted could be the key to your new hotness. And push, pull, and drag your family to Roswell Honda Saturday, June 22nd from 10 to 1 for free hot dogs and drinks, stuff for the kids, and your chance to win a $400 Visa gift card. Cash for Junkers on now at Roswell Honda, 2177 West 2nd.
Believe it or not, your home insurance company isn't evil. Jennifer from Trustmark Roofing here. A lot of roofers make your insurance company out to be your enemy. They'll talk about fighting and battling your insurance to get you the claim you deserve. But honestly, your insurance company is a group of people just like you and me. That's why we don't treat your roof insurance claim like we're going to war. We treat it like a court case. We provide your insurance company every piece of evidence needed to get you the highest possible claim. We submit photos, videos, detailed documents, and line-by-line estimates. And guess what? Our non-combat approach works. On 92% of roof insurance claims, we get the highest amount the first time. And the rare times we don't, well then, that's when we go to bat for you. Call today for your 20% off coupon for our spring roof and gutter maintenance service. 575-755-ROOF or visit TrustmarkRoofPros.com.
Trustmark Roofing, we put people first.
Hey CVE members, have you scheduled your no-cost home energy audit? If not, it's time to sign up. Call 575-746-3571 to get your name on the list for a free home energy audit. Weather stripping, new door sweeps, minor repairs, and much more. Start saving money and keep that purchased air in your home. Central Valley Electric Cooperative is happy to partner with Green Metal Energy for this valuable audit. Again, 575-746-3571.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Did you know you share your birthday with at least 9 million other people in the world? Your birthday isn't feeling so special now, is it? Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning, 7 minutes away from 9 o'clock. It's true that many people share their birthday with a whole bunch of people. I always used to give my kid's mom flack because her birthday was this past weekend, June 8th, by the way. Happy belated birthday to you, Carletta. And every year, I always used to give her flack because she shares her birthday with one very special person. And that person is Kanye West. You know how long I've been on you? Since Prince was on Apollonia. Since OJ had isotoners. Don't act like I never told you. Yep, Yeezus West shares a birthday with my kid's mom. So happy birthday to you, Kanye.
She's born under the same sign.
Born under a bad sign.
Under the same constellation.
Although,
and
it is June. It's Gemini. I was going to say, is it Cancer? No, she'd slap me across the face if I called her a Cancer.
I just found out one of my friends was born a day before, or on the day before me, not a day before me.
Okay. So not like the same year, but on the day before in a different year.
Yeah.
It's really funny how flimsy friendships can be built when you're a child. Mm-hmm. My high school best friend, like for eons after high school even, we were roommates in college, best friend of the entire world. The entirety of our friendship was based on we had gym class together, and my birthday is August 7th, and his is August 8th. So it was something I always used to say, you'll understand when you're my age. He'd go, so tomorrow? And that was like our running bit. But that's the basis for one of the best friends I've ever had in my entire life.
Yeah.
It's so hard to create friendships as an adult. You're like, I don't know how I'm supposed to make friends. When you're a kid, it's like, you like blue too?
Yeah.
It's God to be a kid again.
Well, yeah. Well, it was like whoever liked the same things that I do.
Yeah.
You like Blue's Clues too?
Exactly. My son, I'll watch him. Like, he went to Camp Invention this past week, and it was just funny to watch him. He just walked in, saw a kid, didn't know him at all, and they went off and started playing. And by Friday, they were just sitting in a group together, just chatting, laughing, and the best of friends. So, gosh to be a kid.
They're my best friend.
It'd be so great. By the way, if you missed any portion of the program today, you can always go back and check it out in its entirety over at ksvptv.com. After the show, young Roybert will piecemeal the show up and get it put up over on across social media on our Facebook page as well, so you can check out those interviews for yourself. Mr. Matt Bristol in the 7 o'clock hour, and of course our interview we just had with Miss Elaine Mayfield and Sarah Lee Fajardo with the Galacticon and the Roswell Daily Record Film Festival coming up in the very near future. Real quickly, wanted to put this on your radar. Obviously, the temps are on the way up today, being the weird outlier, but we're looking at 100 and something for pretty much the remainder of the summertime season. So with that in mind, Food Not Bombs is putting together some great things. They're called blessing bags. Basically, these bags full of items that folks who are down on their luck, who are low income, who are homeless, some stuff that they might need just to kind of keep them comfortable. So if you can help out with these blessing bags, it would be absolutely appreciated. They're looking for simple donations, things like obviously bottled water. That is a big need. And so if you can buy a case of water next time you're at Sam's or Walmart and drop it off by the Gonzales Hope Center, that would be a humongous help. As well as reusable water bottles. Those are always good as well. Deodorants, sunscreens, SPF lip balm, Band-Aids, feminine care products, mints, body wipes, little fans because it's going to be hot out there, cooling towels, shampoo, shavers, socks, underwear, toothbrushes, and toothpaste, non-perishable snacks, sun hats, a big one, and umbrellas, as well as sunglasses. Your generosity is absolutely appreciated. If you can donate and drop off those items at the Gonzales Hope Center right over there on 3rd Street, behind 3rd Street Station. Or if you need a pickup or if you need more information, you can contact Ms. Jocelyn Smith at 575-208-9509. That's 575-208-9509. And make a donation. If you can make a monetary donation, that would be absolutely appreciated as well. But to whom it may concern, help out these folks because they could definitely use your assistance. That's a little inside baseball for me and young Roybert. Yep. It's always fun when you're trying to come up with a salutation for emails, for things like that. You want to be professional, but you don't want to be too cold,
right?
Thoughtless, so to speak. I always felt like a good to whom it may concern feels like a very wide net to cast. It's like, hey, you and you.
Yeah.
There's other ways you can go about doing it. I, the undersigned, hereby decree that.
Yeah, when you're trying to be professional, but you end up just, coming off it like
passive aggressive. I think is what we're trying to say. Just a little passive aggressive, but that's okay. But please, if you can, help out Food Not Bombs and the Gonzales Hope Center. They could absolutely use your donation. You can also get a gift from the registry at Amazon.com. Just head over to Food Not Bombs on Facebook. They'll have a link to the registry so you can check it out for yourself. Coming up here in the next hour, we're going to be replaying the interview that Mike had last week with Lauren Dickinson from the Roswell Refuge, talking about the raffle that they're going to be doing this Friday right here on this program. So make sure to tune in for that. That's coming up next hour on A Morning Without Mike Winters. Stay tuned.
Hugh Hewitt is now in Roswell on 106.5 FM KEND Roswell.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm Jeremy House. Celebration and condemnation over the rescue of Israeli hostages.
Israeli officials say the 4 hostages rescued from terror group Hamas in Gaza are in good medical condition and were being reunited with their families after being taken to a medical center near Tel Aviv for evaluation. The Israeli military says the 1 woman and 3 men were rescued in a daytime raid Saturday. The Council on American Islamic Relations, or CARE, is not happy with the rescue of the 4 hostages. The pro-Hamas group condemned the Israeli raid Saturday that led to the rescue. The United Arab Emirates labeled CARE a terrorist organization in 2014, a decision that the Obama administration opposed. Tasha Stevens reporting.
Former President Donald Trump was on the stump in Las Vegas yesterday, addressing a cheering crowd of tens of thousands.
We're going to knock off the Biden crime family as a Biden family of crime, including the fact that they've weaponized the Department of Justice like has never happened in this country.
Mr. Trump reminded the Las Vegas crowd that this election day would be the most important day in U.S. history. Hunter Biden's lawyers have rested their defense in the criminal trial of the president's son. Hunter Biden is accused of lying about his drug use when he bought a gun in 2018. Conservative parties rattle the traditional powers in the European Union with major gains in parliamentary seats. The surge by nationalist and populist parties will make it much harder for the Assembly to approve legislation on issues ranging from climate change to agriculture policy. On Wall Street, the Dow is up, or I should say down 105.5 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Government debt is now exploding by an unprecedented $1 trillion every 90 days. Think of that.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call low-cost airlines. Their prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals too.
Call 866-755-5300. That's 866-755-5300. Again, that's 866-755-5300.
The incident has severed a well-traveled commuter link between small towns in the area and the tourist destination of Jackson. Aerial photos showing the Teton Pass Road riven with deep cracks and a huge section of the pavement has simply disappeared. Part of the guardrail dangles into the void, and orange traffic drums mark off the area. Authorities say it's unclear just how long repairs will take. Jason Walker reporting.
U.S. and Philippine generals say that hundreds of American and Filipino troops have concluded a newly introduced war exercise in the northern Philippines. The drills tested their combat endurance in more than a week of brutal heat and volatile weather. The exercise braced them to respond to any threat in tropical jungles and on scattered Asian islands. News and analysis at townhall.com. 3 people have been hurt in 2 separate shark attacks along Florida's Gulf Coast.
Following shark attacks in Florida's Panhandle, officials keeping an eye on 26 miles of beach where purple flags fly, warning of possible sharks. The Walton County Sheriff says a woman lost part of her arm in a shark attack Friday. Less than 2 hours later, about 4 miles down the beach, 2 teenage girls were attacked. Officials say one ended up in the trauma unit. Mackenzie McClintock is with South Walton Fire District.
Shark sightings, those happen almost every day because it's open water. So throughout the summer, that's something that we're consistently tracking.
Experts say shark attacks are rare. There were 69 worldwide last year, 10 fatal. I'm Julie Walker.
Wall Street expects that Oracle closed out the final quarter of its last fiscal year with mixed results. The software giant will report its fiscal fourth quarter earnings tomorrow. More on these stories at...
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The tabloid said, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3.
Today's inviernos, as they say.
Ooh, as they do say. Of a morning without Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Monday to you and to yours. Hopefully yours off to a decent start.
Yes.
Things moving along quite smoothly. Mixmaster Mike will be back inside your radios 1 week from tomorrow as they're currently enjoying seaside sails being set. I guess we can't really say they're setting sails because there are no sails on a cruise ship, are there? It's all just like motors and stuff.
Kinda, yeah.
Well, just that's a cross-thing carnival. That big tail, that's not a sail. It's just a tail. But, so yeah, no sails being set, but they're getting their sea legs. Just leave it at
Just a captain and his first mate.
Just a captain in a dream. But yeah, he's off enjoying the beautiful, beautiful oceans. From what Kim was saying, they're all day at sea today and tomorrow, which is awesome. It gives you a chance to kind of get to know the boat and kind of get a feel for who you're going to be spending the next week with. You know, get to know your fellow passengers, maybe the folks one cabin over or on the other side. And the good news, Mike and Kim got a cabin with the balcony, so they got beautiful seaside views. That's one thing. I feel like if I was going to go on a cruise, the side of me that is a cheapskate would do battle with the side of me that is paranoid about what might happen, because you can save money by getting a cabin inside the boat, like inside the ship with no windows, you can't you can't see out, but it's just a room.
Yeah.
My mindset is, well, it's just a place to keep your stuff because you're going to be out doing all the stuff on the boat anyways. But that's not necessarily true. You're going to want to break away and have a place to kind of be yourself. I think Mike and Kim did it right getting the balcony. You got to pay a little extra for it, but having that window, having that view, it opens the room up. It kind of frees up some claustrophobia that might be there.
Lets you do the Titanic pose.
Exactly. Let you knock out that Titanic pose.
The T-pose.
I got to imagine there's like a thing now on the front of boats to prevent people from trying to do something like that. Like there has to be, right? I mean, because it's got to be it's like when you go to Italy and you go to where the Leaning Tower of Pisa is, it's more fun to just take a picture of the field of people going like this than it is to take a picture of the tower itself.
Yeah.
It's like, I would just much rather see people just doing this thing to lift the tower. So it's kind of a perspective thing, but
it's like where you take a picture of a line of people waiting to take their picture at a forest or something, or at a reservation.
Yeah, I'm more taking a picture of the humanity that this natural thing has brought out. But yeah, it is nice that he has that window, that balcony, and even though Greg did request that they attempt that pose, nobody's going to hold you to it. Now, however, if Mike and Kim, you do want to recreate the pose from what is the song? Time of My Life. Was that wasn't Dirty Dancing, was it? The Patrick Swayze lift.
I do not know.
Time of My Life. I think it was either Bodyguard. No, what Bodyguard? It was Dirty Dancing. I don't know. Anyways, if you want to do that lift or recreate that lift, you probably have to do that in a pool. It's not an easy lift to attempt. I tried it recently with my girlfriend, and it did not work well.
Yeah, my Patrick Swayze knowledge is not.
It required more upper body strength than I was willing to
very keen
put forth. So happy sales to Mike and Kim. Like we said, Mike will be back inside your radios 1 week from tomorrow. Meantime, you got me. Except for this hour, you got Mike again, because we're going to be replaying the interview that Mike had from last week with Miss Lauren Dickinson from the Roswell Refuge. They are going to be doing a drawing for Father's Day, just in time for Father's Day, coming up this Friday, right here on this program. They're going to be drawing for, or raffling off I got to get the details, but I think it's a 20-inch or 28-inch Blackstone flat top grill. I mean, if you watch, TikTok videos or ever seen dudes who, do like steaks and stuff like that, these grills, these griddle tops are amazing. They have that perfect induction heat. So it's an all over cook, have hot spots and cold spots. They really know what they're doing, Blackstone, when it comes to to the grills. I dropped my pen. There it is. When it comes to grills and grill mastery.
Did they actually say happy sales, or are you just saying that because it rhymes with happy trails?
No, I was just saying it because it rhymes with happy trails.
Okay.
I've never heard anybody say happy sales. I've heard set sales or bon voyage.
Yes. Break a leg.
Yeah.
My weekend was basically just watching game trailers.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like just all the new game announcements that came out this week.
Caught up on what's coming out.
Yeah.
Well, before we got on the air, Roy was showing me the teaser for the new Skate video game.
Yeah, basically Skate 4, but it's called Skate World.
Which kind of has me hopeful it's going to be more open world, maybe more of like a... One of my favorite... and this is where you get really nerdy, but I'm not big on the Skate franchise. I always like the Tony Hawk games. I learned the control scheme. It got, it was one of those things that I just naturally knew the buttons to play those games. One of the coolest games they ever put out wasn't one of the more popular ones. It's called American Wasteland.
Yeah.
And I loved this game because it was completely open world. You would travel down a hallway to get to another part of LA, or you'd go down this staircase and all of a sudden you'd be in San Francisco. You'd be in this part of the map. Or this the skate like the junkyard, skate junkyard or whatever. But it was all completely open. You would skate to get to these places, and you would have to wait for loading screens and all that. And that's kind of what I'm hoping for. We've got the technology where you can do a full open world game and not have to have a bunch of load screens in the middle of it.
A little bit, yeah. Yeah, there's one game actually. It's called Cairn, and it's basically a mountain climbing simulator. And
it's called Cairn?
Yeah, everyone thought it was Karen. It's Cairn.
Oh.
Cairn.
Okay, so Cairn.
Yeah, and you ever played the old game Quap? No. Yeah, like the one where you like control each limb of a runner.
Oh, I didn't, but I've seen it played. That's where you have to push one button to control like the upper part of the leg and then the lower part. And it always just and go, and they just fall over.
Yeah, this is basically that, but you're like climbing a mountain, trying to grab each rock, trying not to slip and fall.
There are so many of those games now that are just I can't play them because they're either the controls are hard or I can't figure out how to. There's one game, and this is where we get really obscure. There's a game on PlayStation called I Am Bread.
Yeah.
And you're just a piece of bread. That's the character you are in this game. But you have to push one button to lift a corner of the bread to make it roll over. I stopped playing after 5 minutes. I'm like, what is this garbage that I spent $13 on? I don't want to talk about it.
$13?
Well, it was the intro for the PlayStation Plus.
Oh.
It was one of the first games I downloaded. I'm like, oh. So I felt like I paid for that one. But that goat game where you're the goat simulator.
That's a new one. That's actually getting a new game too.
Are they really?
Goat Simulator 3. Even though I don't think there was a 2.
Okay, that's what I was next. There was a 2?
No, I think that's the joke, is that they released a 3 without there being a 2.
I see what you did there. If you've ever tried that game, it's flat out garbage. It's hard to play. I mean, some people like it, but
it's the most random thing ever.
I most certainly couldn't do it. I just missed a phone call. So let me give you the rundown once again. Lauren Dickinson from the Roswell Refuge going to be in here in just a few minutes. We got off on a real bad tangent. 14 minutes after 9 o'clock. Let's get you up to date with some weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Some showers and thunderstorms possible today. We have a nearly stationary front and a lot of moist air available. Some of those storms could have damaging wind and large hail today. We'll be in the mid-80s on the afternoon high. Maybe a few lingering showers overnight, and we're down to the mid-60s, and then things dry out on Tuesday. Sunny and hot, upper 90s to about 100. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. 15 minutes after 9 o'clock. Currently 71 degrees. They're saying it's overcast. Still got a little sun in the sky. I'm guessing the overcast is on its way to us. Humidity is at 66%. Winds out of the north at about 7 miles an hour with a barometer of 30.11 inches and a dew point of 59 degrees. Looking at mostly sunny for the first part of the day, then severe thunderstorms later in the day. We're looking at 85 for the high with a 50% chance of rain. New accumulation of less than a quarter of an inch possible, except for in the spots where there are thunderstorms. Scattered showers, thunderstorms before 9 p.m., then isolated showers between 9 and midnight tonight. Some of those storms could be severe. 30% chance of rain and looking at overnight low of 66 degrees. So some cool winds to hopefully cool things off. Although the heat back on its way. Looking at 95 for the high tomorrow. Mostly sunny skies. Winds are going to be calm 5 to 10 later in the afternoon. For Tuesday night, mostly clear, dropping down to 70 for the overnight low. Winds out of the northeast 5 to 10 miles an hour, becoming southeast after midnight. For Wednesday, sunny and is hot. 98 degrees for the high. Winds out of the southeast 5 to 10. Wednesday night, 71 degrees for the overnight low. And for Thursday, we're back to normal. 105 for Thursday, 20% chance of rain, and 103 for the high on Friday. 102 on Saturday, and 104 to freaking degrees on Sunday. 16, now 17 minutes after 9 o'clock. I'm going to pause, pay a couple of these bills, and after these, we'll be replaying the interview with Miss Lauren Dickinson from the Roswell Refuge on a morning without Mike Winters. Stay tuned.
Hi, this is Jim Gill from Roswell Seed Company, here to announce that our geraniums are ready. So now the great debate begins. Are they pink or are they raspberry sorbet? Are they orange or are they Caribbean coral? Well, whatever you call them, they're the prettiest geraniums anywhere. We raise them in our own greenhouse, then send them home with you to brighten up the world. So come get yours now while the selection is best. Don't worry about the silly names.
I heard that.
Yes, dear. Coming, dear. Right away, dear. Of course, you're right.
Innovation, service, integrity, and knowledge. J.S. Ward and Son Insurance Agency. Auto and home, life and health, personal and commercial. Bonds too, since 1925. We have the coverage for you. Innovation, service, integrity, and knowledge. J.S. Ward and Son Insurance Agency.
Attention Roswell and surrounding areas. Is your old car, truck, or SUV on life support?
Clear.
With new management and a whole new attitude, Roswell Ford makes trading up to a new Ford or quality pre-owned vehicle fast, fun, and easy. Upside down in your loan or stuck in your lease? Roswell Ford wants to get you released even if you owe thousands more than your trade is worth, regardless of make, miles, or condition. Right now, get huge savings with rates as low as 0% for 66 months and no payments until Labor Day. Plus, we have a great selection of low-mileage, one-owner pre-owned vehicles, all in prime condition, starting at just $10,000. Don't settle for a low-quality, overpriced clunker. Buy a quality pre-owned vehicle from Roswell Ford for a lot less. Worried about your credit? Don't sweat it. We've partnered with the most aggressive lenders that will push to approve you today, even with bad or no credit. Lower prices, exceptional trade-in values, and a better buying experience. Get on board at Roswell Ford, 821 North Main Street in beautiful Roswell, or online at roswellford.com. $1,515 per thousand finance on select new Ford models with approved credit.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. There are 293 ways to make change for $1. Try all 293 on the guy who keeps borrowing money from you. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 22 minutes after 8 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning from the Roswell Refuge, Lauren Dickinson back with us. Good morning. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call low cost.
Never been on your radar. The Roswell Refuge is kind of, I would say, officially Chavez County's home for helping victims of domestic violence.
We are.
They help, and to be honest, it's kind of it's all things domestic violence. You know, They have the home for victims if they're ready to break away from their situation, to reestablish life, to get a new foundation, to get on track. The refuge is there for them too, but you also work with offenders too. You have counseling and various other services for offenders, and if you do voluntarily, a lot of it's free of charge. A lot of it's just it helps you out. I mean, not everyone comes willingly. Some are mandated by a judge,
court-ordered.
but and so. That's what the refuge does, and another aspect of it too is you guys house and partner with the SANE program, which helps victims of sexual assault.
Yes.
So if a victim has been sexually assaulted or raped or anything of that nature,
we can get them these services.
These folks help the victims first medically, making sure medically they're good to go and okay, helping them emotionally as well. But if the victim chooses to prosecute criminally, They help with the evidence gathering
Yes,
and some of that
advocate.
kind of stuff.
Mhm.
The more sensitive stuff there that they need to prosecute
Yes.
here. So that's really all under the umbrella of the Roswell Refuge. Too. But the community, without the support of the community, the refuge would not be able to do what it does. I mean,
That's
yes,
right. We
there's
rely on our community.
some money from the United Way and some through various grants and other
Mhm.
other government entities and things like that. But the facility really survives on the donations of the community. When you as a community come in and donate towels and blankets and food
Hygiene.
and hygiene
Yes.
products and health and beauty stuff
Mhm.
and furniture and
Yes.
and games
Home
and
goods.
toys
Yeah.
and things that make life better.
It helps.
All of that is healing our victims and allowing those doors to stay open, not only for the people that are calling it home today, but for the ones that will need to call it home in the future.
Yes.
We would love to not need it. And we'd have to
Absolutely.
close the doors
Love
and
to
be
be
put
out
out
of
of
a job.
business. That'd be a great thing.
I say that every time I'm on here.
But
Love to be
unfortunately,
out of a job.
that's just not a reality that's
No.
going to happen anytime soon. So,
No, it's not.
so that being said, we'd love to continue to keep doing that kind of
Yes,
thing.
our community has been blessing us. We are looking forward to our Father's Day raffle.
Yeah, that's kind of your big event going on right now with
Yeah.
Father's Day right around the corner here. Here about the last month or so, you've been doing a drawing for
Yeah.
a pretty sweet Blackstone
And usually we
blacktop grill.
don't do that many, fundraisers.
Yeah,
in a
maybe
year.
one or two a year.
Yeah,
maybe.
like after our big Seine
Yeah,
dance.
that 70s dance is your big
was
event.
great, which thank you to all our supporters and those
Yeah.
who came out. And
And if you missed it, that'll
sponsored
be
and-
back at around April time frame again
Yeah.
next year. Here.
Yeah.
So it's a spring event here.
Yeah, we'll do something in October too, like our usual.
For Domestic Violence
Yes.
Awareness Month, and absolutely. And that's more remembrance and things like the candlelight vigil.
Mhm.
That's kind of a tradition during that time, and
Yes.
some which is
That's
it's
a
a rough
staple
it's,
for us.
it's a powerful but rough. It's because it's all the emotions.
It is.
You're
So many
celebrating
emotions.
the ones that won their battles. You're mourning those that lost their battles.
Yeah.
You're trying to show strength to those fighting those
and
battles
give awareness to our community
and awareness to the community
Yeah.
in the
and surrounding areas. It's not just Travis County.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Domestic violence is in every corner of where
everywhere.
humanity is, and the best way to combat it is to bring it out of the shadows.
We got to talk about it.
Yep, you got to.
It's one of those
public.
taboos. We got to talk about it.
Don't feel like the none of my business mindset that
Mhm.
that has plagued this domestic violence
Mhm.
problem is, and that's really the problem because people.
Yeah.
And I understand.
Of course.
Mind
you
your
know?
business and all that,
Yeah.
but when you see something like that, it's never a bad thing to
It
step
used to be
in
the
and
same with rearing children,
Yep.
and now people
It's no
speak
different.
out and talk.
And I get it if you don't feel comfortable going
Yes.
in and physically get it.
Yes.
But call authorities, call
Yes.
police. If you're in a store someplace, call management.
Yes.
Do something that alerts
Speak out.
people that can do something about
Yes.
it. Yes, we're not asking you to jump in there and
No.
get in between it. What we're
No.
asking you to do is don't let that go unchecked.
Yeah.
Make sure someone and to be honest, let law enforcement handle it. And guess what? If it's a misunderstanding or just something,
They'll get
they
to the
will
bottom
sort
of it.
that out.
Yeah.
But if there was something legit going on there, you
Yeah.
probably saved a life that night.
Yes.
And that's why you need to get involved.
Yes.
You know what? I get
Talk
it.
about
You
it.
don't want. I'd rather be wrong and say
Mhm.
sorry later
Yes.
than my right suspicions right and do nothing about it.
Yes.
So that's the biggest thing that plagues domestic violence. Really
It does.
is
we have to break that silence. We have to talk about it.
yeah, and the fact that it is a cycle. It's hereditary.
And
I'm
what
not
does
saying
it look
hereditary.
like? Yeah,
it's-
what are those?
Yeah,
what are those
I say
telltale
hereditary.
signs?
That's not right because it's not like technically in
Yeah.
the genes per se,
Yeah,
but
it's
but
cyclic.
Yeah, if you were raised in a domestic violence situation, more
Yeah.
likely than not, you're going to be that way. You go from the victim to the abuser because that's what you were taught, and that's how you know what you know from
Yeah.
how when someone brings it to you.
Gotta
so that's why
break
it's
that cycle.
so we have to educate and understand, and I think because domestic violence is now getting like it's way more talked about in 2024 than it was in 1984, and I think we're starting to see good things come from that. Like people are stepping up, being more assertive about reporting these kind of.
And I think too, it's learning what domestic violence looks like,
Mm-hmm.
so they're able to say, "Oh wow, I was in a domestic violence relationship," or my partner did abuse me, or even the offender or abuser. Oh my gosh, I did use economic abuse against my wife or husband, or
That's how it was in my house when we
Yes.
were kids. It
Yeah.
was and that's something too. As we talk about domestic abuse, and it's not always a punch to the side of the
No,
head.
it's not.
It's about power and control and using that to manipulate.
And that verbal
you.
abuse.
Yeah.
I mean, man, does it take a toll.
And that's why victims of domestic violence have such a hard time breaking from those situations, because
Their
a lot
norm.
of times the abuser
Mm-hmm.
puts it in a situation where they are the one that controls every aspect of their life and gives
Yes.
this victim a sense of, you need me to survive.
Yes.
Without me, you cannot survive
Well,
on
and
your own.
they get used and addicted, to that honeymoon stage.
Absolutely. And that's really
Feels
what we're
good,
talking
all those
about here.
endorphins, all those, positivities.
Absolutely. It's an evolutionary thing. Yeah, it just starts out a little thing like that.
Yeah.
But years later, then the hitting starts, and
big.
then it turns into the
Mhm.
more uglier side of
Yeah.
it kind of thing. And unfortunately, 9 times out of 10, these end in one of two ways: either they break away or someone dies.
Yes.
And we don't want the latter there.
Yes.
We'd rather have
You alive and
break
let's
away
get
from
you
it
some help.
and able to live a life that you
Mhm.
just truly deserve. So that's what the refuge does. It
Yes.
brings and we have there is a 24/7 hotline that anybody
There is.
can call if you're ready to break away from your situation. That hotline is there for you. You're in complete control of what happens. If you just need an ear to bend to talk about what's going on,
Yeah, we'll try to help you the
then
best we
it's
can.
there for that. If it's some more than that, if maybe you're a person that suspects something but doesn't know quite what to do, please call that number and ask
Yeah,
for
we can
resources.
get you some
and help. Yeah.
information.
And vice versa. Maybe you're an abuser and saying, I think I'm maybe.
Come talk to
but
me.
But if
Yeah.
you're dealing in any facet of domestic violence, please call that hotline. There's people to help on the other side.
Yeah.
And whether it's for you to separate and to start a new life, or just helping you
We can help
get
you.
through a particular situation at a
Yes,
particular.
we have been so full at the shelter.
Which is good and bad. Good that it's there,
Yes,
but bad
lots
that
of kids.
it's
Yeah.
full. Like
Yeah.
we should always have one or two beds.
I know.
We don't do.
Yeah.
But speaking of that, before we get into the grill here, I know pre-COVID and all that, we were offering opportunities for folks to come out to the home and maybe do some yard work,
Yes.
landscaping. We were having people renovating and remodeling some of the bedrooms,
Are
things
looking
like that.
for individuals to do that.
We
I
still
know
able
they're-
to do that again?
Yes, they're trying to replace some of the older playground equipment.
Excellent. Okay.
That the kids don't really utilize, and it's
Sure.
really hot.
And I'm sure there might be safety issues
Yes,
and things like that too.
so
Older
we're trying to
playground
get that
equipment.
removed. So if there's anybody out there that wants to remove some
Use some help
old-
there.
yeah.
You want to volunteer your time
old
and things
playground
like that.
equipment,
Some-
we would love that.
Yeah, that kind
We'd
of
like
stuff.
to make it a little patio area. A lot of the clients like gardening, so growing their own fruits and vegetables, and we know that. brings
And that's
a lot
all part
peace
of the
and
healing
comfort.
process. That's they're trying to give these individuals a sense of ownership back in their life,
Yes.
and
Let them have some control that's been stripped from them.
absolutely. So the staff and the volunteers and everyone that's part of the refuge family, that the main goal is to make that home feel like a home. That's why we call the Roswell Refuge a home, because
Yeah. It is.
it's
A little
truly.
house.
They celebrate holidays, Thanksgiving, they cook a meal in a family and they get
Yeah.
together, Christmas, all the
All the
holidays.
holidays.
They treat
4th
it like
of
a
July.
big family community. They when there's birthdays and various holidays, they make sure we got presents for the kids and a lot of times we'll get some very generous businesses that donate their services to
Yes.
some of the victims of the refuge. And so, we're all, because a lot of times it's about reestablishing confidence,
Mhm.
giving them that foundation. Sometimes part of that is a makeover.
Yeah, and we're
Sometimes
so
part of
lucky to
that-
have
yeah.
the thrift store that individuals donate, and
Yeah.
we are so inundated with clothing. We have been turning people away,
Okay.
sadly. But we're still taking home goods. We're still taking.
We got
those
microwaves and
full-size-
coffee pots.
Yes,
and,
we're
and-
still taking those type of items.
Yeah.
It's just we have so many pieces of clothing.
And how this works is when people, I guess, graduate for a better term, graduate to go on to their own back to a life again, with their new life or
Mhm.
whatever. Basically, because a lot of times these folks come in with basically whatever clothing is on their back.
Yes,
That's it.
and
Maybe
they've
with
secured
a
housing
child
and
in
a
tow,
job.
and
Yes.
so they don't have trees, bedding, clothes other than what's on their back, and they literally have nothing. Yeah. So over the course of their time at the home, they're reestablishing some of that. But so whenever they get there and they give them their towels and that all goes with them to wherever their next phase of their journey is. But they also get a chance to go through the thrift store, and they partner with other nonprofits.
Absolutely.
And you send your clients, we'll send our clients, so they can get things like a microwave, pots and pans,
car seats, strollers,
car seats, strollers, just
toys,
anything they can use to make their transition a little bit easier.
And the thrift store is closed this week.
Okay.
Kay and Stella, they are redoing a lot of things.
Okay.
And trying to get a lot of winter stuff out. So I think there's
kind of
a
shifting the season.
a $5 bag sale approaching. I don't know the dates, or I'd tell you, but
check back next week
maybe
here.
the 1st of July.
Okay.
But we will post it on our Facebook.
Excellent.
It should
Well,
be really
we'll
good.
be in next week to do our drawing here, so we
That's
can
right, so maybe
we'll
I'll have a
some
date.
information
Yeah.
by then next week.
We want to kick off summer and get some of that stuff out.
But please come support it and shop, because you get some great deals and
Yes,
stuff
you do.
too. But all money
goes right back
goes
into the
right back
refuge.
into the programs and
Yes.
everything is at the refuge.
Keeps
so
our doors open.
That thrift store, by you donating, shopping, or whatever,
helps so
you're
much.
supporting the refuge.
Yeah.
So, now another way is the Father's Day deal we got going on.
Yeah.
Here. So for Father's Day, you guys have procured a 36-inch Blackstone flap top grill, one of those sweet
with
grills
the
that you
hood.
see on TV that looks like you could feed an army of people. You could get, how many brats could I get on that
Right?
sucker? I always look. But so that's the first place prize. We're also having cash prizes for second and third place, $300 for second, $200 for third place. But you got to get tickets, because do the drawing next Friday during the 8 o'clock hour right here on the morning show.
Yeah, we're excited.
Yeah, so
we've been
and then
selling
again,
tickets.
all your ticket sales
Goes right back into the refuge.
Go right back to the refuge here, and tickets you can get for $25.
$25, yeah.
And so you can do so by a couple different ways. You can always come by the refuge.
Come by the office, or you can call and I can give you the Cash App or Venmo. And then I just send you a picture digitally of your ticket.
Oh, nice.
And fill it out, so it's easy if you don't want to stop by.
Excellent.
That's worked for a lot of people that have bought some tickets.
But get your tickets. That way you got a chance, and who knows, you might win a Blackstone grill or 200 or $300.
Hey, and if you already have a Blackstone grill, we might have a buyout option.
Oh, okay.
So we're talking
I'm just
about
saying
that.
like if you don't want to donate it back, because imagine that would be a very useful tool at the home. Just saying.
But if you already have one, I have sold some tickets to some individuals at Richland that had grills. So maybe if they win, they'll
donate it back.
Or they can do the cash option, or it'll all work out.
Or like I said, do a grill
thankful.
train program. It's like, oh, I got my other Weber grill here in the house. I'll do that. But yeah, absolutely. Please buy tickets. Buy as many as you can, because every dime will go back to help the victims of domestic violence in some way, shape, or form. And together, we do enough of these events. Maybe we can make domestic violence that is so out of the lexicon of things that we talk about it like smallpox.
It's more awareness.
I
mean, when I'm selling a ticket, I get to say, okay, it's for this.
Or,
explain. And you don't have to be from Roswell. You can be from
yeah,
somewhere else.
Wherever
we can get that grill to you.
U.S. currency, we'll take it all.
Yeah.
But please help out with that. And
it's fun.
Yeah.
It's something too. Like, I'm excited. If my husband wins, Happy Father's Day.
What are you cooking us?
Right. Here's everything I would like. No, just
yes,
teasing.
absolutely. But yeah, if you're not familiar with them, of course there's advertisements. They're kind of like your.
You can make everything on those things.
They're
I'm
very
like breakfast,
popular
lunch.
trend. Like
every
every few years, like a certain smoking grill type
Apparatus,
product.
Yes.
Like
the Ninja Foodie a few years ago.
A couple
oh my
years
God.
ago,
Our
before
whole
that was the
office
green
owns
eggs.
one. Yes.
And those
I
are
still want
still
a
nice,
green
by
egg.
the way.
Yeah.
But and the last year or two, it's been these Blackstone grills, because they're literally a big flat griddle.
Yes.
You can
Practice
cook anything.
your hibachi.
Yeah, you could do
Yes.
hibachi, you could do steaks to pancakes to everything in between there. It's really a
smash burgers.
Yeah, if you want to go out there for breakfast, where you're like, now
on
my
the
bacon
porch, man.
My bacon won't fall through the little
Right.
grill marks and get grease all over the place. But yeah,
None for the dogs. None is dropping off that for the dogs.
No dogs.
They're sad.
Dogs will lose out on this one here. But unless I know most Most donors, yeah. Oh, a piece of bacon fell off.
Yeah.
Yeah. A
I'm
lot
the
of chicken.
queen of that.
My
Yes.
wife was making chicken salad the other day, and quite a few pieces fell on the floor
Yes.
for the cats.
Don't tell Dad. Don't tell Dad. How cute.
Absolutely. And of course, folks, if you need help or you want, please don't hesitate. The Roswell Refuge is there to help 24/7. If you're ready to break away from your situation, please, and we'll give you the number before we get off the air here. But please do something about it. Even if you're not ready to separate from it, talk. Let's have a conversation.
And if you are ready, we can help you with the restraining order too. If you meet those qualifications,
absolutely,
with district court.
And please understand that when you meet and deal with victims of domestic violence like this, please understand that that they've built up a lifestyle to cope and manage with the situation that they are in.
Yeah.
What unfortunately is kind of offshoot results of that are lack of trust issues, very quietness, very reserved, not willing to share and let's face it, why would you? If you're in a mode where you're thinking the world's against you, why are you going to come be forthcoming? And so a lot of times the first step for helping these victims is getting them to feel that they're okay to come out and talk and understand not everybody is wanting something from you.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, one of the greatest ways to help crack away at some of those walls they've put up is your random acts of kindness.
Yes.
When folks come to the refuge home and they've got big trays of food from a restaurant because they didn't sell them all, perfectly good food from one of our chain restaurants.
Or a meeting that had too many leftovers.
Yeah, those
we are
things.
so gracious for
and
that.
then when the residents of the home see that and they're like, why did they bring that food? Because they had extra and you wanted it. But what do we got to do for it?
Exactly.
Nothing. And then they realize, wait a minute, you just did that because
you could.
It cracks away at that armor. It tears it down. It absolutely does, and it puts them on the path to being able to have the happy lives they deserve again.
Yes.
And so, trust me,
everyone deserves happiness.
Your simple act of you coming by with a
Just
bag
those
full
little
of
things.
towels and toiletries, or cakes and or bedding sheets or games and toys and stuff.
Or food ingredients so the house can cook this together.
Absolutely.
That is super fun to watch.
Yeah, like they can't.
Everyone get together and make cupcakes or.
And they kind of like with the foods and things they buy because of the grants and stuff. Like they can buy like the products to make things, but you can't buy like produce candy bars and things. They can accept donations of candy bars, and so if you'd like to donate your favorite Reese's or Hershey's or whatever you're into, that's great because they can use that and give it to the kids or have it as a treat. Who doesn't like chocolate, right?
Yeah. Popsicles.
But if you want to, you can't. But if you want them to make cakes and you can buy them the sugar, the flour, the chocolate chips, all the ingredients, and they're allowed to do so make sweets that way. But and it really is a family cooking, family style cooking.
Really
they cook together as families. They have family meals as a home together. That is part of the whole experience. So when you go to the store and you pick up extra things of cooking oil and Duncan Hines cake mixes and all that kind of stuff and donate that's great stuff to help them out do that.
It is.
But one thing that's a constant need is your bedding, your towels,
those hygiene items.
Yeah, hygiene, toiletries, because that's all stuff that
it
they
goes
keep.
with them.
It's dispensable stuff.
Yeah.
When they do move on to that, they take their bed sheets with them, they take their towels with them, they'll take their personal health and beauty items.
Maybe the
with them.
kids came without shoes.
Exactly, clothing.
Throw away flip flops.
And that's why we also remind you with toys and stuff too, because there are kids that do live in the home too.
That teddy bear
of all ages. Yes. Some are barely able to walk to teenagers, full on teenagers.
Yeah.
So boys and girls toys for that broad range. Something that teenagers are like, something that toddlers would like. All of that stuff. Donate. And they'll like a lot of times there's birthdays and stuff. They'll wrap them up and give them his birthday or gifts or things like that.
Christmas too.
Yeah, Christmas. And so don't forget about that stuff too. But all of that helps out. But if you really want to help, get you a ticket or two for the Father's Day Blackstone Grill blacktop grill giveaway here. and help out that way. And then, of course, if you need help, don't hesitate to call. What's
that hotline number is 575-627-8361.
And that number is the emergency.
365, yes, 24/7.
Like if you have
crisis
office
hotline.
questions or anything like,
You
hey,
can call admin.
Yeah, call our office
Yeah.
number. This number is really kind of geared for people.
Do you have room and shelter?
Yeah,
This is what's happening.
People that are dealing with a domestic violence situation in one way, shape, or form here. So, and it's available 24/7, like you said.
365.
Completely anonymous. You don't have to share. Matter of fact, I'm not even sure if the people that you're talking to are in this area. They might be somewhere. I don't know.
Who knows?
But that's kind of the deal. It's very anonymous. And again, like I said, you are in control of the conversation. If you're not ready to leave, you don't have to leave. If you're ready to leave,
you just
then
need help.
by golly, we'll have hands on the other side to pull you through.
Absolutely.
But you're in control of the conversation, but please, if you're experiencing this, even if you think you're dealing with it, get help. You shouldn't have to.
No, you don't have to
what
do
you're
it
dealing
alone.
with is not normal.
Yeah.
This
Let's
is
get
not,
you those tools to help you through it.
Yeah, this is not the status quo. This is not the right way
not the
or the
norm.
normal way. I know in your head it may rationalize and feel, and well, you don't know me. Trust me, I don't know you, but I do know that no human deserves what you're dealing with.
Exactly.
So please reach out, make that call.
Call us.
Let's help. Let's help and do this. And folks,
And if we don't have the resources, by golly, we will find the resources.
absolutely, I know, and that's the thing. It's a great
Yes, we
partnership.
partner with
like
a
there's the
lot of
Grammys House
Yes.
in Eddy County and similar other resources,
Yeah.
and you guys are work hand
We
in
can
hand
make
all
a
the
phone
time.
call and figure it out.
They all kind of do the same good note, and they're parts of the state here, and they can help out with that. And if it's bigger
Try to find an
resources,
answer.
and obviously you're connected with the sheriff and the police department
Yes,
thing. So
if
if
there's
there's something needed there, you guys can help navigate that too.
Yeah.
But if you have donations, if you have any questions, please go. Or if you want to get tickets for the Black Stone Grill, you can go to the Refuge office.
Yeah.
That's the best place to go.
1215 North Garden.
North Garden,
Yeah,
right
that's
there
our
on the
admin office.
corner of Garden and what road is that? I can't remember.
It's actually next to Culligan, across the street from Travis County Door.
There you go.
Yeah.
Exactly. I
College,
just picture on the
Garden.
corner. It's
Yes,
like right over
just
there.
turn,
I'm
yeah.
coming off Main Street,
Right
go here,
there.
and it's like right over there.
Yeah.
and the thrift store, I believe, is right in that
It is,
region
on the
too, as
site.
well. So you can
Yeah,
go there
Purple
if you
Door.
got, like you said, Kay and them are kind of
They're gearing up for summer.
reorganizing for
Yeah.
this week. But please reach out next week if you've got items you'd like to donate.
Yes.
If you have bigger items like furniture and stuff,
We'll try to
call
accommodate.
ahead.
I mean, we don't
Sometimes
have
they
trucks
can. There's
or
not a lot of
anything.
space and
Yeah.
things. But if you have something, because yes, some of that stuff's very useful and needed, and things like that. And by the way, if they can't take it, don't hesitate to talk to someone like the Humane
Yes,
Society.
and
or
we can
somebody.
give you numbers or
And
you know,
that happens all the time.
steer you that way.
I'm sure you send people over to the
Yes.
Humane Society thrift
Yes.
store, and vice versa.
Yes.
They may send some people your way from time to time.
Goodwill's
too.
so expensive, so
Yeah.
I try not to
Right.
steer them there, but the Humane Society's great.
Sure, absolutely. And another thing I do want to mention too is when we talk about the toiletries and stuff, for the Roswell Refuge, what works best for them is the family size stuff.
Yes.
The family size bottles of soap and
Yes,
shampoo.
because they can then take it with them.
Yeah, I mean the travel size are,
It's
if that's
great
what you
too.
have.
Yes.
But to be honest, what happens is you collect those, and if you give them out there as need be,
Yes.
but a lot of times you'll give those over to Harvest Ministries or
Yes.
someplace that. Or maybe
Or a
Gonzalez
daily
Center,
use. Yes.
So where the homeless can use them for their travel
Yes.
bags and things like those are more useful for there.
Yeah.
That being said, if you got them and you don't, awesome, thank you.
That's
But
fine.
if you're out buying stuff specifically for the
Yeah,
refuge,
that
think family size, think the bigger bottles.
Because they can
the big-
take it with them, and that gives them a little help.
And you know as much as I do, you, at least especially me with the person who has the problem. I buy like a 48-ounce bottle of shampoo and conditioner. That's good for like 2 years. For me.
Yeah.
I bought shampoo back in the 90s.
Oh, gosh. It's still good. It's fine.
They don't even make this
Your hair
brand
hasn't
anymore.
fallen out.
This Pert? What is it? I don't even make that anymore.
Gosh. White Raid. Yeah.
White Rain. I forgot about that one.
Oh my God, the wind wasn't getting through that stuff. No.
Exactly. But
Great.
but that's the kind of stuff look for, and same with like towels and sheets and things like that, because
you can take it
again,
with them.
they take that with them.
Yeah.
So if you'd like to donate that kind of stuff, blankets,
throws, stuff like
Perfect
that. If you
type
have
of
too
stuff.
many blankets like I do, closet full.
Some people
You
in our
never have
family,
too many
some people in our
blankets.
family have a slight blanket buying fetish,
Yes.
maybe, perhaps, or sheet buying fetish.
Yes.
Like,
Turn the AC down and grab a
It's like
blanket.
you don't need to buy a new sheet set every time you want to change the sheets. Just saying, you can reuse them and wash them. And, it's like, but anyway.
So yes, if you're a blanket hoarder like myself, you can donate some.
There
of
you
those.
go. You
We
can
would
let
be
go of a
grateful.
few, and
Yes.
so now the problem with you is you go back and seems like, oh, and you see the blanket and you're like, oh, I've fallen in love again. You don't want that, do you? I want that back.
Can
no,
I
I'm
have
just
it back?
kidding.
No.
I'm just kidding. But yeah, please help out. And that's and trust me, it's the coolest moments is when you're having those light bulb moments where people
It is.
that for whatever reason didn't understand what you're doing, and then they see you're doing it, and yeah,
Yes.
the light bulb moment, the tears break down. It's
Mhm.
just like people aren't all, you're chipping away at that armor, and that, to be honest, you doing that kind of stuff is probably the biggest successes at the refuge experiences when they
Yes.
have those breakthrough moments
Yeah.
of getting these victims back to being in control of their lives again.
Same
Those
with
are
the offenders. When
Mhm.
you're in group and finally after so many weeks it clicks that, oh my gosh, I have been abusive.
Yeah.
You're like, all right.
It's like,
This
finally,
is-
we get it.
this
And that's
is
where the
why I do
healing
what I
and that's
do.
where the change begins. Because once
Yes.
that
You
happens,
got to change both sides.
Absolutely.
You got to help both sides.
And that's just it. I'm not trying to give passes to offenders because
No.
what they're doing is, is bad.
And that stigma is there. That's
Sure.
why I'm always talking about is working with offenders is we have to work on both
Absolutely.
sides.
Because it's
Then
back
it's
to what we're talking
conquering
about.
the same issues.
Yeah, you're just creating the next.
Yes.
It's
We gotta
odds are
work on
pretty
it.
good.
Yeah.
That person that's abusing someone right now was probably the victim as a
Yes.
child or a younger
or
person.
saw it, yes.
And so, and it's not that it's just what they know.
Yeah.
It's like if you're told this is,
And as adults, we have to relearn things.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Your parents taught you
We
how to
can
use
be
a fork
retaught.
and knife, and you use it the same way the whole time, and then
Yes.
someone later says that's not how you use a fork and knife at all.
Yeah.
It's this way, and I'm oversimplifying, but that's in essence what
Yes.
some of these folks are going through.
Yeah.
So you gotta
Broken traditions.
You gotta
Yeah.
give for that or think about
Mhm.
that and give, not trying to give excuses and things, but
We got to talk about that stigma.
changes for everybody, even
Yes.
people you don't like. That's
Yes.
the thing we talk about, giving chances and saying, even for people that did
For the
things
ones that
you
wanna
don't agree
change,
with.
of course.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yes.
If they're not
Yeah,
meeting you
can't
in the
bring that
middle
horse to
here,
water.
then
Yeah.
then we deal with the consequences
Yes.
accordingly. But if someone is
That punitive.
is trying to be a good person,
Yes.
the good thing to do and the right thing to do is to help
Yeah.
them achieve that success. And so
Absolutely.
this is
Be
how we do it,
accountable.
whether they have a breakthrough in a meeting or whatever it is that flips that switch
Yes,
in their
that
brain.
victim finally got that her apartment's ready.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know? Or
so,
he.
So please reach out. Yeah, that's
Yes.
the other thing too.
Yes.
Not we think of
Knows-
females mostly as
knows no
victims,
bounds.
but
Female,
that's,
male.
that's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say if you want to do statistics, women are more likely than men, but
Yes.
but men are just
They're
have a
abused as
chance
well.
of being. I mean, there's
Yeah.
so many. Even you look at like famous ones over the years, we hear years later
Yes.
about something going on, and it's like, well, turns out it was the wife that was the
Yeah.
abusive, not the husband.
It happens.
Yeah, it does happen. It is. And unfortunately, it's the worst thing because
It's alive
guys
and
have
well.
to deal with the stigma like, oh, he's a manly man. He got abused by his 5'2" wife, whatever.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's a whole.
It's
but
sad.
but then that person's dealt with the same problem. Well, what if he did go crazy and swing at her one day?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Guess who's now the bad person?
Exactly.
Kind
Exactly.
of catch 22 right
Yes.
there, So that's
Both sides need
so
help.
it's even worse sometimes for male victims because
Yes.
they're not believed
know.
to begin with,
Yeah.
And
She
then they
did
gotta
what?
yeah, and so it's a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
They got to. Whereas a woman says it, people are automatically willing, by and large, to accept that.
Mhm.
A guy says it's like, okay,
Yeah.
what's he pulling here?
We still hear the stigma of, well, why didn't she leave? Why didn't
Yeah.
she do this?
Oh yeah, you
that
still
victim
have
blaming.
Yeah, the
And-
just leave scenario.
Yes.
And sure,
Don't know till you're in the trenches.
yeah, it's like when have you? Yeah, but
When you're in the thick of it.
yeah, that's easy said when you have no attachments, no
Mhm.
anything, no sense of what am I
What
going
that
to do
person-
next?
yes,
Yeah, it's like,
what that person may
I've
have
got
gone
this
through.
bad situation, or here where I'm going to die or have nothing to me.
Yeah.
You can't rationalize that
No.
with someone who doesn't experience.
No.
But anyway, get your tickets.
Yeah.
By the refuge office or call, or if you have the Roswell Refuge on Facebook, shoot a message
Our
there.
office number is 575-624-3222. That's
Very
our
good.
admin number.
And that's if you have questions about tickets.
Yes,
or,
TROs.
Yeah, any of that kind of sort of thrift store questions
Yes.
or anything like that.
Yeah.
And
Offender
one more
treatment.
time, if you are dealing with a domestic violence situation, give the crisis number
That's
one more time.
575-627-8361.
And that's the 24-hour
365.
If you're ready to call,
An advocate will
someone
answer.
will answer that phone and be there to help you with whatever you're
Yeah.
ready to do next.
Yeah.
But call the other number if you just want
You just
tickets
got-
or any of that
yes.
stuff, or want to donate some stuff,
Yeah.
or want to help out at the home here.
Absolutely.
That would be
You feel like taking out that old playground.
if
equipment.
put it this way, if there's a bunch of HGTV watchers that love
call us.
they've been
Set
kicked.
some up.
Basically, their family said you were done remodeling rooms in
Yes,
this house.
There's nothing more to remodel.
Turn them loose over at the
Yes.
refuge, and maybe if you like to donate some time and
Yes.
materials, and maybe get your friends together and y'all
It's amazing.
pick a
It
room
is.
there and go crazy on
Yeah.
it. And go make it your.
Because the rooms always have individuals in them, so
Yeah.
it's something that's always used.
Absolutely, yeah. This and to be honest, those little things, when you're in a nicer environment, your mindset's better,
Wow.
everything's
Yeah.
better, and if
wow,
the rooms,
someone cared enough to do this.
Absolutely.
For an absolute stranger.
yeah,
That's
it's
amazing.
think about it this way: someone sitting in a jail cell versus sitting, what's their mindset like?
Yes.
Are they sitting in a nicer
Yeah.
room? And it's no different here.
Absolutely.
That room has got flowers and painted and nice, beautiful
Mhm.
bedding, and it feels like a home environment, not like a clinical
and
or
it's
cell-like
clean
environment.
and yes.
So if you'd like to get in and come
AC.
and decorate and paint and
Yes, call us.
and do all your color coordinating,
Yes.
please get involved. So
Yeah.
excellent. Well, thank you as always.
You bet.
And we'll
Thank
see you next
you.
week.
Yes, sir.
Next Friday here for
Next
the big
Friday.
drawing.
Thank
where one
you.
lucky winner will be grilling me a steak.
Yay!
ROGYN or call 575-736-8394.
A good night's sleep is so important, and issues like sleep apnea make falling asleep and staying asleep nearly impossible, but we can help. I'm Dr. Sarah Usher at Carabelli Dental. With the help of a simple oral appliance, your sleepless nights could be a thing of the past. But don't take my word for it, just ask Lainey.
My name is Lainey Smith. I wasn't surprised when I found out I had sleep apnea simply because I had a horrible sleep pattern. I attempted to use the machine and it drove me nuts and I could not sleep with it. And then that's when Dr. Agger told me about the oral appliance. I would suspect I've been using it for 2 years now. In all of that time, I've had less than 10 poor nights of sleep. It's a complete game changer. I feel a lot better because I sleep.
This simple appliance can change your life. Call us today to set up your appointment so you can finally get the good night's sleep you need.
Come see the team at Carabelli Dental at the corner of 9th and Main in Roswell or call 575-622-4455.
Strong women need strong partners to help them lead their healthiest lives. At Artesia General Hospital, Dr. Scott Beard and nurse practitioner Lori Crockett deliver compassionate, holistic care to women at every age and stage. From routine checkups to diagnostic testing and specialty services like urogynecology, you can expect the most innovative, personalized care close to home. Learn more about women's services at Artesia General Hospital online at artesiageneral.com/women or by calling 575-736-8394. Many women's services are also offered in Carlsbad.
When others say no, Roswell Hyundai says
yes.
The bank manager is at Roswell Hyundai for a short time to say
yes.
No social security number or ITIN number?
Yes.
No driver's license?
Yes.
It doesn't matter. Roswell Hyundai says
yes.
If you have a job that earns at least $12 an hour, Roswell Hyundai wants to say
yes.
Roswell Hyundai wants 100% approval, which means they want to say
yes
to you.
Yes.
Get zero down,
yes.
zero payments till fall,
yes.
plus up to $4,000 more for your trade.
Yes.
On now at the home of Roswell Hyundai, 1909 West 2nd.
Yes!
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Due to extreme pressure and weather conditions, it literally rains diamonds on Neptune and Uranus. Stop snickering because I said Uranus. Here's Mike Winters.
They actually changed the name from Uranus. It's now Eurectum. 2 minutes away from 10 o'clock on a Monday morning, and this is what you got all week. You got a whole bunch of Sean Smalls, Roy, maybe some Jocelyn up in there as well. Mixmaster Mike Alf sailing the seven seas, or I guess boating the seven seas, cruising. There you go. He'll be back inside your radios 1 week from tomorrow. If you missed any portion of the program, just give it a minute because old Roy, he's my boy, and he's going to get the interviews that we had pieced up, posted up over on our Facebook page. Matt Bristol in the 7 o'clock hour had a great conversation with him all about assets and which ones are safe and not safe when you file for bankruptcy. Great chat with Miss Elaine Mayfield as well as Sarah Lee Fajardo from the Roswell Daily Record all about Galacticon 2024. It'll be here before you know it. And, of course, Miss Lauren Dickinson with the Roswell Refuge. That drawing, by the way, this coming Friday. Get your tickets. It'll be happening right here on A Morning Without Mike Winters. Big thanks to everybody for hanging out with me on this Monday morning. We'll get back at it again bright and early tomorrow morning. Town Hall News up next. And then Clay and Buck on A Morning Without Mike Winters. See ya.
On air and online, this is Roswell's home for talk radio.